it's not a bad thing if you unmute yourself and then start talking so everyone in the audience can see you. But they didn't catch all this. This was the world's shortest stream, so that was it. Everyone say goodnight. We're done for the night, right? We've got it all out of the way. That was the perfect one. Jeezy, crazy. What a way to start off this new segment, huh? Not unmuting yourself. I just look like I'm animated talking with my hands. Can I get a small clap? Can I get a small clap? Oh my gosh, Chris. How did I flub that up? That's pretty funny.
It happens.
It does. It's all right. That's the beauty of live streaming, right? It's all live. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll do it. We're just doing it live.
I'll go through the introduction again. Welcome everyone to the Crazy Crafter live stream. This is the first Crafting with Collin stream edition, where in addition to the interviews and the builds and sharing techniques from the tabletop crafting community, I'm going to be working on some of my own projects, some of my own personal builds that I've been wanting to work on, some cross collaborations with other channels. Nights is the cross collaboration between myself and Michael Patterson, co-host of the Sunday live stream from Nat One Videos. So I'm excited to start work on that Dwarven Cemetery. I won't show it to you guys just yet, but before I do that, be sure if you're new to the channel, type new in the comments below, and be sure to tell us where you're from. Excited to meet new folks. That's been one of the cool things about this stream is connecting with fellow crafters all around the world. So welcome. And if you're like I said, whether you're live with this or you're watching the recorded version once it's up on YouTube, be sure to type new in the comments. Let us know who you are. Speaking of getting to know you, right? They missed it all the first time, unless they could read lips. But joining me tonight is a good buddy of mine, Chris Martin. Chris, welcome to the live stream, brother.
Salutations. Thank you for having me, Collin. Glad to be here.
Dude, super rad that you're going to join me tonight. So Chris Martin and I, a little backstory on us. We've known each other for, I don't know, since like half our lives. We've known each other.
Going on 15, 20 years there, pal.
No, 15 or 20 years there, pal. Chris Martin and I went to high school together. Chris is an awesome friend. Known each other for a long time. We did theater together in high school, and now Chris is here in LA making his way through Hollywood. He's an awesome actor. He's been on film, television before. He's currently if you're looking for the world's greatest Russian villain, he's here and available. Because good Lord.
This is true.
This is true.
If bad guy is needed, I can lend services.
You could lend services. It's good.
It's no problem. It's Collin.
Anyway, I'm thrilled, brother, that you decided to come hang out with me tonight and craft. That's kind of what these new sessions are going to be all about during the week. I do the Sunday live stream when we've got folks on from the tabletop crafting community. We had Gerard Boom on last week. We've had John Lombardi from Tabletop Witchcraft. And then we've featured a bunch of members from the community as well. It's been really cool, man. I know you've caught a couple of the streams, but like it's just been cool having these guests on and sharing their process and their technique about what they go about, how they go about crafting, sharing some of the stuff that they go through, as far as like, do they use tinfoil? Are they texturing stuff with little pencils? It's been dope. This stream is a little different, right? This stream is a little bit more like whoever's here. Maybe I'll be by myself some of these times, but it's just me working on projects that I want to work. And like I said, sharing some cross collaborations. I've got some cool ideas that I want to share both with Chris tonight, pick his brain about them, and then also I get to show the Dwarven Cemetery and as part of the cross collaboration between Nat One Videos and myself.
I am super excited about the Dwarven Cemetery.
Dude,
that is, it's going to be a very small cemetery, but it should be, be awesome.
You say that, but you have what's cool about this for those of you that are tuning in.
Compact.
It's compact. Yeah, but you haven't seen it. So
I
I'm excited to show this to you. This is pretty amazing. So we'll work on that. I'm painting it. This build is a part cross collaboration. Michael Patterson and I connected back in September, and both young and budding content creators all of September ago. But anyway, Michael's channel is doing great. He just hit 900 subscribers today. Yay, Michael! Bravo! But his content is awesome. He's creating all sorts of stuff from wood carvings. But I knew when we connected, he wanted to send me a build, something that he created, and basically just primed, and then sent it to me to paint and finish up. So he sent me this really cool Dwarven Cemetery. I should probably first off, cheers, brother. Here's to you.
Cheers.
Cheers, friend.
My stone mug.
There's your stone mug, your stony tankard mug, brother.
Yep.
The wild bunch.
Well, this is the other one I have. It's not cleaned, but this is this is my OG Stein right here.
See, the Stein game is strong tonight.
Yeah.
The Stein game is strong.
This is actually goat horn.
Goat horn.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's or wait, not goat. This is ox, I think it was. Yeah, or bull. Like definitely one of the two.
Did you wrangle it yourself?
I did. I had to wrangle them myself. But what was cool though, I got to put my own brand on the bull. That was cool. I never did that before. But yeah, man, that thing did not want to let go of its horn. I'll tell you that. But
I wouldn't either.
It makes the alcohol that much sweeter inside it. I feel once you've taken it off the horn of your animal. But I'm really excited to be on the crafting part. Like Collin said, I'm a professional actor. You can follow me on Instagram at Christopher Ross Martin or Twitter at CRR Martin.
Hey, you got to be good at that self-marketing there, brother. Please follow. Give Chris a follow. He's
CRR Martin. Like GRR. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if you didn't know, super nerd. I have not been in the super crafting game, but I do have my history started. I play D&D with Collin now. We're going on 2 years of our
January
campaign.
2 years.
You're getting close to the 2 year, but before that, I did Warhammer and Warhammer 40K and traditional Warhammer. And I'll tell you this, boys and girls, if you want a hobby that you're just gonna throw money at, Warhammer is the way to do it. I'm not saying that it's not bad. I mean, it's super fun. It is one of the most fun and exciting hobbies I ever got to be part of. But I put so much money into it. So yeah, so that's where I got to I actually quickly discovered that I actually liked painting the minis. I think a little bit more than playing. I do love playing the game, but painting just little bit more for me. I really did enjoy it.
It's something that I've never played. I've never played Warhammer. So one of these days we'll have to. I don't know what we'll have to do. Maybe I'll have to. Do you still have your army?
I do. I have 2 armies. I have my Dark Angels army for 40K. I have a Vampire Count army for original Warhammer. So vampires are your generals, and you have skeletons, zombies, dire wolves, all kinds of good stuff. And then I also had an army called the Tau, which are kind of like an extraterrestrial alien army. Okay. And, but yeah, once I got into D&D and found out it's just like, hey, it's like Warhammer but streamlined. It's like done. So that was I was hooked.
Well, I know if you're a dice lover too, Warhammer's probably pretty good because all those D6s you're rolling all the time.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
So real quick, do the different factions, like you're talking about the Tau, the vampire, do they have different are those like class perks that you get when you build that army?
Yeah, there's like different advantages. So for the traditional Warhammer, which is more like your medieval type, you have like your knights, like your Bretonnian army as they're called. You have high elves, dark elves. And then I just naturally, because I'm a ghoul, I gravitate towards the vampire count army. Collin probably knows. I've done horror nights and scare acting since I was a kid. I've done Scary Farm.
He's quite scary when he wants to be.
Quite scary when I want to be, children. Yeah, and I don't know. I like the dark and morbid. It's just a thing with me.
Hey
And
man, nothing wrong with dark and morbid. It's you. It's
right,
whatever floats your boat, baby.
yeah, it fits me like a glove. And so the vampire count army, it's really interesting. So it's a lot of magic. It's a lot of might. You have the skeletons and zombies are extremely cheap point wise. So imagine an army that you're playing against another army,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys say like, okay, our armies are going to be 1,200 points. So characters that you use have different point values. So say you have a general. Now vampire generals a lot stronger, so they're going to be more point values. So a vampire general might be 300 points, whereas an elf general or whoever you are to use maybe 150. So
Okay.
then you have to like work your army out. And like I said, skeletons and zombies extremely cheap. I think only like maybe 5 points of
Wow.
like a piece or whatever. But what's cool about them is you can raise them and you can summon them, and they're really light. And you could just mow down zombies and skeletons. Like they're not going to do too much damage. But
Right.
if you put like 100 of them around an army, now it's a problem.
Now it's
So
an issue. Oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
You like your dark and morbid out on the table, so everyone else can deal with your horde of undead as you send them forward to slay them, and also mow them down with railgun.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, they didn't like it when I tried to put rail guns on when I tried to, because 40K and the Warhammer, it's like futuristic versus medieval. Like you can't cross them
Oh.
for whatever reason. So when I had like my dire wolves with rail guns on their backs, like I was banned for a couple months. Let's just say that I wasn't allowed in the store.
You weren't allowed back. Well,
Yeah.
once we're allowed to get back together and we're out of quarantine, I'm game, man. You'll have to show me the ropes, and we'll have to. I'll borrow one of your armies, and you can let me dip my toe in the pool, and if I like, because I've like, you warned me. You were like, bro, like you. You warned me. You were like, you thought D&D was the rabbit hole. You're like, you don't know. You don't know the rabbit hole.
You get sucked in, and it is over, my friend.
I have to play it. Our other co-host on the live stream, Danny West, plays too, and he's quite fond of it. So I got to try it. I would try it. It'd be fun. And again, like you, I like painting it.
Yep.
So while we're gonna we'll popcorn back to Chris in a second, because Chris was like, I don't know what to craft or do tonight, like on the stream with you. He's like, because Chris. So a couple like Chris says he's not a big crafter. He's come over and helped me out like when I started getting into the hobby. He'd come over and just chill before games would start, and he'd craft with me too. Actually, one of the last things that you crafted before we went into quarantine was a really cool dice tower featuring the deity of your.
You mean this?
That
right
little thing
here?
Yeah, man, show off that dice tower, bro. That's dope. He's like, can I borrow some XPS and whip something up? I'm like, yeah, you can. So
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that dice tower real quick.
Well, the way the dice tower is my character in D&D is a sea elf cleric, and his sea elf kingdom for a while was worshiping a kraken deity called Jahan.
Yep.
So krakens are not necessarily the most gentle or trustworthy or non-murderous deity,
Right.
or a monster, or they're a monster basically. But so this is what I imagined what a kind of like a temple, his name was Jahan, would kind of look like. So the stone
Hashtag
is
what
black.
would Jahan do?
Yeah, exactly. What would Jahan do? So kind of did like blackish stone with a lot of gray, and then kind of made like where it looks like a water line.
Yeah.
So you got like that gray down into the green, and the wood planks kind of got some green and some rot on them, and then yeah, it was I did. This is probably like the first thing I ever really made
out of XPS. Was that the first thing you craft? You've helped me build like the dungeon stackers before.
Yeah.
But was that your first craft on your own?
Yeah, this was like first thing like on my own. Man. Like no, like
just
like,
whipped it together. Like you just started. You're like, I'm gonna make a dice tower, and you made it before the game that night, and you painted it up and everything. It was really cool, man.
Yeah,
and
man,
then
thank you.
Yeah. It's fun. So much like that. Like tonight, Chris is like, I don't know what we're gonna do, and he's like, I got a little bit of styrofoam, and we'll see what I can do with that. And I was like, that's perfect. Like, what a cool thing. Like, that's what Chris has, and we'll chat more about what you're gonna do with that here in a second. But first, I want to show you this. So everyone on the stream has been able to see it for the past few minutes. It's up on my crafting cam. You can't see it, but I'll show it to you here.
Okay, cool. I want.
This is the Dwarven Cemetery that Michael sent me. Oh, and you know, before I get in, I want to get to the Dwarven Cemetery, but also
you stop teasing me like that.
I will
Seriously,
never.
like,
I'll never stop teasing you. You'll
naughty,
never.
naughty,
I'll never stop. I'll never stop, and you know it. So, the one thing I wanted to showcase beforehand is this awesome little thing. So this is a refrigerator magnet that one of the guests from a couple weeks ago, John Hosenfeld in Ohio, Chris, he made a little Crazy Crafter logo and he sent it to me in the mail.
Cool.
How dope is that? Like, super cool. It was really, 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 really cool. I'll show it to you guys over here. But John, thank you so much for sending the magnet. My son is so excited to put it on the fridge tomorrow. He's like, I want to pick where it goes. So thank you, John. This is really cool. He uses like paint thinner or mineral oil to texture his stuff instead of the tinfoil, and he gets that kind of really cool texture that he adds in there. And
that is really cool.
Yeah, super cool. Thanks, John. That's super rad, brother. And
well, great. Now, no pressure on me to make something tonight. Thanks, Collin.
Yeah. No worries. Okay. I think that's it. All right. Good night, everyone. We're not going to show the Dwarven Cemetery. Nah.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Yeah,
see you next time.
Okay. Are you ready for this thing? Let's show this thing.
I'm been ready.
So for those of you that have not seen, there's a link to Nat One's videos, and specifically this Dwarven Cemetery build in the description of this live stream below. On the cross collaboration, John sent this over 5,454 miles to make it to me. Or not John. John was the magnet. Michael sent this to me, and it traveled over 5,000 miles to make it to me. It's super
across
cool. Across the Atlantic, right? The Titanic couldn't even make it across the Atlantic.
Multiple time zones.
Many time zones. Lots of really good frequent flyer. This thing has more frequent flyer miles than I do right now. So to show it off, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here it is. That's it. No.
Wow.
Are you impressed? I know you're impressed. You're so impressed.
It's like, is that's all that was left by the time he sent it to you? Like,
no.
like shipping and handling was not kind to that cemetery. Holy cow.
Yeah. So this is, so you like, right? That's the top layer. There's layers to this thing, bro. There's layers. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to try this. Like, those of you on the stream can check it out from this angle. But I kind of want to give you another angle here, buddy, so you can see just how amazing this thing is. I'm just going to pull my webcam off. I tried to set up the other one tonight, but it didn't work. So we're going to do this. A little behind-the-scenes shot of this. Okay. Here we go. So you can see.
Wow, I love the black rock. Yeah, that's kind of what the rock look I was going for with my tower. I love that.
So he's base coated this in the Mod Podge mix. And I'm gonna paint. This is what I'm gonna paint tonight, dude. I'm gonna start my work on this entire thing. But as you can see here, he's got like the little Dwarven cemetery. Then you've got the tombs over here. Like, he's got some bark that he put on here for this really cool stone texture. He put bark in a blender and chopped it up, and he's got really neat texture down here. He looked up Dwarven sayings. I believe this one is Nat One videos, but it's got different Dwarven runes on each side of the build.
I think that one says, "Never feed a grizzly bear with a marshmallow in your mouth."
Well, if you want to live a boring life, that's what you do. Please don't hashtag. Please don't feed grizzly bears. But they actually say this. They say collaborate, solidarity, crazy crafter, and Nat One videos. Pretty cool. So
that's cool.
The cord won't reach all the way around, but like any good encounter, there's always a hidden door.
What?
Yeah, this is cool. I'm excited because Chris hasn't seen this thing. So now you can go down the tomb. And once you go down the tomb, well, where does the
Oh,
tomb
that's
go?
gonna be that's gonna have to be a discussion in the party.
Oh, I think
You
so.
know what
I've already
I
I've already talked to Richard. I was like, you got to incorporate this for the thing. So the joke that I had earlier, this is a little center pillar for here.
uh,
Michael just disconnected it so it didn't break during shipping. So it actually lives there in the middle, which
oh,
is
there it
really
is.
cool.
Cool.
Um, so let's take this thing off. This is a little crazy, and I'm sorry. It's a shaky cam right now, but that comes
Man.
off. Then, as you descend down the stairwell, come down the stairwell here, and you have room number 1 that
Nope.
has a little fountain in it.
No, don't drink from that fountain.
I mean, why not? You have down the way here, inside this room, you have another door. Yeah.
That's a room of death.
This one comes in here. I mean, when Richard gets a hold of this, it'll be a room of death. So you have the hallway downtown to the end here. And then over in this room, you've got another door, another room, and then if you can see, he built a mirror. He built a little mirror for me, and I'm gonna add it
portal
in
to
there.
hell.
You think it's a portal to hell? It could be.
Portal to hell. Yep.
I'm gonna build more mirrors, but here, you ready? This is probably the coolest thing. So as you're a player in the game, and you look to your right.
Okay.
See this? Look at that face. How cool is that,
dude?
Is this not the coolest thing ever? It's
pretty
amazing.
Pretty sick.
I was elated. Like, Michael's an extremely talented crafter, and it's just absolutely mind-boggling that he spent all this time putting this together. His project that I sent him, I took one of my swords. It was decommissioned, and it was one of the oldest swords that I owned as part of the rental company. For those of you that don't know, when during non-COVID times, I am an actor as well, but I'm also a theater professor, and I'm also a fight director, and I own a weapons rental company, and I send theatrical props, swords of all kinds out for theatrical productions. Anyway, one of my decommissioned swords I sent to him, Chris, and I sent him everything but the handle. Michael's really one of the big hobbies that Michael really enjoys, wood carving. So he carved up an ebony wood handle of Gondor on one side and Rohan on the other side, and he fit it on a single-handed. I'll send you the link to it.
As I'm watching the Fellowship, I got the Fellowship.
Do you have it playing behind you? Dope.
When you said the sword was decommissioned, is it like a ship? Did you have like a ceremony? Like, was there flag folding involved and like a band that played and?
No, I did say my piece with it because it's one of the first sword. It is the first single-handed broadsword that I purchased. So it's older, and it lived its best life, and in a cross collaboration when talking to Michael and hearing what a huge Lord of the Rings fan he is, and I was just like, well, what a cool thing, like if he's building me something along this epic proportion, I was like, you need to have something equal epic, and I can't think of a more epic thing than to add a sword to his decor. And you have to, if you guys haven't, again, you can find the link to the sword handle that he carved on that one video channel. I'll send you the link to Chris, and I'll probably throw that link up there in the description as well. Point being, if you haven't subscribed to Michael's channel, you need to, because he's got really good stuff. So, but the cool thing now, dude, I get to paint this thing. I get to paint it.
Yeah, but
and then when we come back to playing in person, bro, this is getting. I know our DM, our buddy Richard, is gonna. So it's gonna be super cool. And
yeah, he will try to kill us in it. For sure.
So all these different rooms, you're kind of like so funny. You're like, yeah, that's a death room. That's a death room. That's the portal to hell right over there. I kind of want to do that with this build. That's kind of my goal and plan, is to almost by the end of these crafting with Collin sessions is to have it painted, have it flocked, have it all fully done, but then also add on to it. Like, what occupies, right? Is it is it a portal to hell? Like, I don't know. And I want to think about it some more. So if you guys have ideas out there, once you check out um this video and you have an idea of what type of things I should make as far as scatter within, so like tables, chairs, a chandelier. I don't even know how I do that, but like manacles for shackles for prisoners, bars, like put them in the comments. I'm interested in what you guys think I should add to this cool Dwarven Cemetery experience. And that goes for you too, bud. So as we're crafting and we're working, like if you come up with anything, let me know. I got stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna write it down because I'm.
There you go.
I
like.
So, onto your stuff. What do you have? What are you gonna work on tonight? You said you grabbed. What did you grab to work with and craft with?
I grabbed this. Our friend Chris Fort. He had a bunch of Warhammer Space Marines that he wasn't using, and he put them in like this little styrofoam piece. And I saw this, and it was so funny once I saw the top of the Dwarven Cemetery. That was kind of like what I wanted to do, was kind of like, well, I have these right here. These are kind of like in the shape of like, they almost kind of already look like tombs.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, we got tombs here. And then on the other side, you'd use the bottom half as like the covers for it. And then the middle, just this big blank thing. I was like, well, this would be kind of cool if it was like a fountain, and then maybe use one of these to like put like a square in the middle of it, and then kind of just project up to make more of a fountain top. So I was kind of thinking like a fountain top, and then maybe like for crypts or tombs around it, kind of like a family plot cemetery sort. But yeah, so I think the watching what he had done, that definitely kind of inspired me and
inspired you right now, because you literally you were like, I'm grabbing something and I'm showing up tonight, and I was like, perfect. I was like, we don't need it. Like, it literally will be a fun exercise, and what do you have available? And
I'm glad it was this. It was either this or it's going to be an Amazon box, because that's literally all the only thing I really have.
I'm telling you, that's the cool thing about the hobby, and you've seen me do it all the time. You've seen me hoard everything all the time, like trying to save it for like, no, don't throw it away, I'll craft with it. So
I'm an actor already now. I see, if you don't know already, actors already hoard everything as it is, because it's like, I can use this in a project, or I can. That's why I still have my Ed Hardy gear from the early 2000s, because God knows it's gonna come back, and I can use it for something.
It's gonna come back, and also, especially with like clothes stuff, because then there's like rehearsal, audition, like, dude, it's important. Like, your poor girlfriend and my poor wife, right? Hoarders to be. But that's what that's okay. Worse traits to have.
This is the life we've chosen.
Tis a good one. Tis a good one.
Tis.
Okay, well, let's start doing this. I'm gonna start painting. I've thought about like, what do I paint with? What do I start with? And it's detachable, and it's right here. So I think I'm gonna start with the little tomb that comes out. The tomb, and then my Dwarven Cemetery spire here. I'm gonna paint those.
Flaccid Rock, we'll call it.
Yeah, I mean, aptly named, right? All right.
After the great dwarf warrior Bjorhan Flaccid. I mean, I think that's goes without saying.
I think so. If
I don't have what you would call crafting tools. What I have is a pocket knife that I'm going to use to carve around this foam, because it's foam. I don't think
you do have a crafting tool. It's literally whatever you have, and right now that is a pocket knife. That's amazing.
So we're gonna make it happen.
You're gonna make it happen. You're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
Well, there's if those of you that are out there, if you're watching the stream right now and you have any ideas or suggestions for Chris, please leave them in the comments here on the chat, and I'll be sure to relay those to him. But in the meantime, if you're watching it after the recording, what would you have made with that styrofoam setup? What would you have done? Have you ever used a pocket knife to craft with before? Chris is about to. All right,
You're gonna see it tonight, that's for sure. This will be good though, because I think this will be like really educational. If someone thought like, "Hey, what if I tried to use a pocket knife?" and then they see what I did, and they're like, "Oh no, we will never use a pocket
we will
knife
never do it. We will never
because
do it.
that looks like garbage." So,
you know, one of the first things that I always love whenever I get to a craft session on this stream, buddy, is my favorite thing is once I start crafting, I realize what I have forgotten in preparation.
okay.
And I have forgotten my paint palette to throw my paint on. So it is no worries because crafter, I have a paper plate that I have to throw it on. So
Hey man, whatever works.
Whatever works,
like
right?
It's like I like to think of myself as like the Bob Ross of crafters. It's like, hey, we're just gonna take our pocket knife here. We're gonna cut into some styrofoam, and we're gonna make some happy little stones here.
Happy little stones, happy little crypts, happy little
crypts, and some happy little bloods, and they'll go at it, and it's gonna be.
Yep. I see what you did there. Oh yeah.
What I did there? Keeping LA comedy alive.
The LA comedy alive, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Well, where is my a bit of water? It is. I'm gonna get to work.
I think what's great too. I think just as me, I think starting out doing something that's old and kind of like cryptic, rustic, ancient, as it were. I think it's great because if you mess it up, it only enhances it. I think so. Honestly, I think if you're starting, for me anyway, it seems like the way to go because it's like anything I do, like, oh man, I put a nice like scratch into that. Use it, like it's all part of it.
It's exactly it. We've talked about that so many times, like especially with a ruin, right? You don't have to. It's not destroyed by any way, shape, or mean. It's
no mistake. Happy little accidents.
Happy little frickin' accidents.
That's it.
This is some watery. My folk art paint tonight seems a little watery. Then put a little bit on the brush to help spread this out.
So what are you gonna do first in terms of you gonna put a base coat on it or
yeah? So I'll paint it up. This is kind of the standard, just a folk art medium gray that I really like for a lot of my texture. I'm gonna start with that.
Okay.
My goal. Happy little. That's all I'm gonna hear for the rest of the stream tonight is happy little whatever we're talking about, buddy.
Make some happy little cuts right here.
Yeah, that's right.
My goal for tonight is going to be not to cut myself. So
that is a good goal, my friend. Don't do it.
Yeah,
do it.
Well, this actually there's a history with this knife. Actually, this was my dad's pocket. Nice. This was my dad's pocket knife.
Nice.
And he actually gave it to me in the when I was in the Boy Scouts, and he took it away from me because I decided to cut open a glow stick to see what the insides of it were. The curious little scamp I was.
What did the inside look like?
Oh, it was like glow juice, and it was great. Like we took it and like we put it like neon fluorescent paint, put it all over our faces, and we were like oh, it was cool. And I later found out it was toxic. Probably shouldn't have done that. But he was right for taking the knife from me. I'm not going to knock him for that. That was a real immature move for me to do. So I never knock him for that. But I got it back, and now I'm putting the knife to good use. So
you're no longer cutting open glow stuff with it.
Yeah.
I have a pocket knife story to tell you as well.
Please do.
The pocket knife that I got for Boy Scouts. And do you remember Drew Robinson from high school?
I do remember Drew Robinson. Yes.
Drew and I were in Cub Scouts together and Boy Scouts throughout our childhood.
Where were you based out of?
We were in Ontario.
Where are you? Creekview Elementary?
I don't think we were at Creekview. We were based still out of. we were big. I went to Mission Elementary. I don't think Drew didn't go to the same elementary school, but our Boy Scouts, we did all of our Boy Scout stuff at Ontario High School, where we went to high school. That's where
See,
we did ours.
We did ours at Creekview Elementary. We were Pack 309.
I don't even remember. You remember your pack? That's impressive. I don't even remember.
Yep, I remember because we might have actually rumbled with you in the street because I remember part of the Boy Scouts was we got into like
we got into a lot of knife fights.
Like,
that was my story. I was gonna reveal to everyone that my pocket knife got taken away because we got into a switchblade fight.
Wait a minute! Did it leave a scar like this?
No, that's the one you're gonna get tonight from trying to cut styrofoam with your pocket knife.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be it. Yeah.
But the I had a pocket knife for whittling too, and I had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle beanbag. And
nice.
Yep, it was until I started cutting holes in it, and then I put a hole in the couch too, and my mom was like, "That shit is took that away." Anyway, there went away my pocket knife. I don't know if I got mine back. I don't think she gave it back, dude. I don't know where that.
You should bring that up to her to mom. You bring that up to her tomorrow. Like, hey mom, you think I've earned my pocket knife back?
Yeah, she's gonna be like, no, bro, you did not earn it back. Like, you're not getting anything.
I like that she just like has it like in a shoebox, like tucked away in her closet.
Yeah. That's probably no joke. If I find it, I'm gonna have to go hunting for it one of these days. Like,
well, this is actually since we're bringing up pocket knives. This is kind of cool. This pocket knife. My dad, he worked for Verizon, but before it was Verizon, it was a company called GTE.
That's right.
So that was this Swiss knife. But you want to talk about pocket knives? This is actually my grandpa's pocket knife. And this is an old Boy Scout pocket knife.
Oh,
so
that's so cool, dude.
So this is probably, oh my God. So if this was my grandfather's knife, he served in World War II. So that would have been like the late 30s and 40s. So this pocket knife is probably from the 1910s, 1920s, if
dude, that's so cool. You know, where did he live? Where did he live, Chris? Where did your grandfather live?
My grandfather lived in Montclair.
Montclair.
Yeah, my dad was an Army brat though, so they moved around
everywhere. Nice.
Yeah, but they settled in I think they settled in Pomona, and then grandfather lived out the rest of his life in Montclair, I believe.
Okay. I know Montclair well. Chris and I both grew up, we obviously went to high school together. We've established that. And we grew up in the Inland Empire out here in California. Ontario, California is where our old stomping grounds, and Montclair is just right adjacent to it. It's right there. Just
right next door.
Little northwest of it, I think. That sounds right.
Northwest sounds about right.
Yeah, let's just go with it. Don't naysay me on my own. Don't do that.
I'm not naysaying you.
I know
it's north. It's north of Chino.
Everything's north of Chino.
Yeah,
everything's north of Chino. That's cow country.
I always remember Chino from. Oh my God, I'm dating myself. The OC. When there was.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. I know exactly what you're gonna say.
I remember there was a line. There was a preview, and there was like, "Hey, don't talk to that kid. He's from Chino."
He's from Chino. Chino is some crazy place. It's not. Chino isn't some crazy place.
Chino is really nothing
nice.
Like
nothing like that. Nothing.
I guess compared to the OC, I guess Chino's like
California.
California.
Here we come. All right, enough of that singing. How have you cut yourself yet?
I have not cut myself, so I've already defied expectations. So that's
that's good. We've only got an hour and 15 minutes to go, something like that.
Well, the night's still young, so we'll see how
it is still young. Have you decided what you're going to do as far as are you cutting up? What are you working on right now? Are you working on that fountain? What's your first
Yeah,
step?
I'm
Like, what are you
working on
doing?
that fountain. I'm working on getting the square out from. So I'm basically cutting the middle out of the styrofoam and
Nice.
doing my best to. But this is what I like best about styrofoam. That I mean, if need be, if you puncture it, you just fill that puncture with styrofoam and then
Yep.
paint over.
And it's gonna be just fine. Cool.
Good to go.
Well, there's a lot of different options to choose from here on what to do to paint this cemetery up, but I definitely think try this again here. I can bring camera paint. I think I'm gonna hit all the tile work up here, bud, with and the Dwarven tomb, obviously the statues here, with that same kind of stone steel texture. And I might go
Nice.
with like a base coat of I don't know. I'm gonna start playing around with the ground too, but I'm gonna use that same gray that I just worked with, and I'm gonna try to go to town with that now.
Now have you talked with what was the gentleman that made
Michael,
it? What was his
Michael.
Michael? Have you talked with Michael about like painting options, or is he giving you like
Oh,
free
bro,
free?
he said once it's sent over here, it's mine. So I can do with it as I as I please. And I know he says I rewatched the video today, rewatched the videos, and he was so excited about the build. I mean, obviously it's such a great build, beautiful, and he was like, I don't want to send it to you. I was just like, I don't blame you at all.
Well,
As
it's like
such a
I
cool
remember
piece.
a film teacher taught me once, and he says it about film, but I imagine it just transitions over into art. Is that art is never finished; it's abandoned.
Mm,
And
well,
he said with film, like films are never finished; they're abandoned, and it's like it's true. And I mean, George Lucas is the prime example of that. Is that there will always
yeah. There's
be
always more.
something that you can do, or like, no, this is what I wanted, and yeah.
Always more to work on. Always more to.
There's always more to work on.
Um. Well, I think that's fair. And you know this being it's such an amazing. I am honored to bring this to life, Mike. So as you're watching this, as you're watching me, help finish bringing it to life, just know that every step of the way, thinking of ways to torment you with what I kidding. Um, I'm really
I always saw the cemetery as pink
yeah.
myself, Michael.
I should have been
Get some
I should have
let's
been
get some
like
fuchsia in here, and
here's this bright orange, boom, just send this pumpkin orange all over.
it's
Yeah.
like amazing. I think I could hear someone screaming 5,000 miles away.
So fun, so terrible. Um, yeah, this is so. It's one of my favorite stages of I like the base coat, Chris, when you paint it, because then it doesn't matter. Like it's neat to start to see all this detail again, dude. As I'm bringing this to life, I'm overwhelmed again at all of the detail. I'm gonna bring it back here again, guys. As soon as I finish painting this up, show it to everyone so they can see it. I want to bring it around. All the detail that he got, like these pillars, Chris, are items that he hand carved. He hand carved
Oh,
with a
no
carving.
kidding.
He's got a carving knife, and he uses that to work a lot with XP. A lot of his stuff. Dude, you really need to check out his channel because a lot of his builds are he loves Lord of the Rings. So he built Amon Sul, right? In a build
Oh,
like
nice.
oh bro, it's
The,
nuts.
the oh yeah, I think you remember. I remember seeing that on Instagram. The Tower of Ansul, right?
Yes, that's right. So he's he's and he loves dwarven architecture, and it really came out and it shows in this piece because it's just one giant labor of love.
I love how everyone has different interpretations of dwarven architecture. It's interesting how it's different, yet it all comes back to the same. Like if you compare the dwarven architecture from say the Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings, and then look at Skyrim,
Yeah.
and how they use the dwarven ruins, a lot of sharp corners and not really round, just
Yeah, that symmetry. Michael put
right.
it as they really like their symmetry, right? They really like their symmetry of an architecture.
Plus,
And
we're, plus it's like we're underground building. Leave us alone.
yeah, right. Building, leave us be. Um, Remarkable. Dwarven. I guess the coolest one of the things that I it was dwarven esque in mind. I don't know if I ever showed them to you, but one of the jigs that I got from Gerard Boom cuts out shapes. Hexagon. Cut out large hexagons. I made these giant columns. I don't know if I ever showed them to you. But they're really really cool, man. And again, things that I hadn't really thought about it. Like that symmetry totally speaks Dwarven. I am what for those of you that are, you know, coming back and watching the recorded version of this, what screams Dwarven? Share some of your Dwarven architecture with with me over at the Crazy Craft. You can send me an email at crazycrafterchannel1983 at gmail.com. I want to see your Dwarven architecture. Show me some of the stuff that you've built in the. You can also follow me on Instagram, crazy dot crafter xps on Instagram. Post stuff all there. Give me a follow. I'll follow you back. I'm all about sharing, and seeing what inspires you guys. Um,
And if you want a good laugh, follow me. I don't really do the crafting stuff per se, but if you like funny cat videos, boy, I'm telling you.
you're the guy. That's the guy. Guy with.
No, I've actually been looking to start a YouTube channel. I'm so slow to get to it, but it's just
It's
for
a
the
lot of
longest
work. It's a lot of work, bro.
it is a lot of work, but also like what do I want to do? Do I just want to like post sketches or just jokes or
Right.
what
What is the
have you?
content going to be? Right.
Exactly. Well, what I thought about doing is because I'm so big into scare acting, was maybe just do a channel that's just for scare actors and just
That's cool. I
for
think
people
that's a
that work.
great idea, dude. Because again, something that you're super passionate about, that you're very knowledgeable about, right?
Yep. Yep.
That's really cool, bro. I think that's a great idea. Super fun.
Yeah. 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 Last year was my first year actually working behind the scenes at a scare event. I got to be a coach and a captain for Halloween Horror Nights, which was super exhausting, but probably one of the best experiences of my life.
Life.
Super fun. Yeah,
And that for those of that's at Universal Studios, right?
it is Universal Studios. Yeah, it's quickly becoming one of the top Halloween
Oh,
adventures, like you should say.
they spare no expense. That's for sure.
They definitely spare no expense. They this past year, not 2020, but the year before was we had Us, Jordan Peele's Us.
Oh, so cool. I remember you saying. I remember you talking about that one.
That was super cool. That was one of the ones I was in charge of. I also got to do House of a Thousand Corpses and Holidays in Hell is one of the other ones I was in charge of.
Is that the hardest perform? Like, what would you say is the most challenging performing environment you've been a part of? Is it horror? Is it the scare? Is it the scare theme park scare scene, or is it lie elsewhere for you? Like, what's been the most challenging performing venue for you?
You know what? It's all different, and it all depends on scheduling. But Horror Nights is it's an endurance. It's a marathon.
Right.
I always have to tell the kids, and their kids working. You know,
Right.
like
Right.
that you have to treat it like you're an athlete, because it used to be when back in my time when I first started at Not Scary Farm in the early 2000s. It was the wild west. You got to do so much. One of the first mazes I worked in was Lure of the Vampire, and I was a lost boy, so I had like a trench coat and like the angel forehead prosthetic and fangs. And then the year after that, I got upgraded to a Vampire King, aka Lestat, and just
Mm.
got to wear like a silk rock and roll shirt, leather pants. Loved it.
So you just wore
And
what you
got,
normally wear on a daily basis.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, my costume was better than anything that they provided. And then the third or fourth year I worked there, I actually got to work on the streets and be a street performer. And I was a slider, so I had like the knee pads and the gloves. So I would be the guy running up to people, sliding on my hands and knees, and
Dude,
jumping up.
that stuff is it's
That
super intense. But how were your knees at the end of haunt season?
I'll tell you this now. I'm glad I got to do it. You have to do it when you're young, because once you hit like a certain, it's like, yeah, you could do it that night. It's great, but it's not it's the rebounding. It's
Yeah.
the coming back again and again and again. And back then it was really no problem, because it was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You recover Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Boom, you're back at it for 3 days. And then around Halloween weekend, they would throw in a Thursday at you, but it's like, no problem. Now it's almost becoming like Wednesday through Sunday, 2 days off. It's a grind. And I always, I tell my performers, like, you better start thinking like an athlete,
Yeah,
because
you got to recover. You got to recover.
yeah, you're not going to bounce back like you used to. It's just going to happen. So but yeah, it's definitely pretty rigorous, and it definitely takes its toll. But if you prepare yourself, if you get ready and you get a routine going, a couple, gotta remember to put my arm down, a couple nights, or a couple months, I should say, ahead of time, you start eating right, you start preparing yourself body wise, get the right exercises, get your core down, like from your chest to your knees, because that's you're going to feel it. I tell them, I'm like, I'm not trying to scare you, I am telling you.
Just trying to prepare you. Just trying to prepare you.
Exactly.
Just preparing them. That's
Well,
all you're doing.
it has
Look at that.
it has been cut out.
Very good. And show me 10 digits. Show me 10 digits.
So far,
Acceptable. You're doing great. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, we're good.
You're gonna earn
The
that
pink
pocket
would have
knife.
been more believable, but it's harder to hide. But yeah, so here's what we're looking at so far.
Oh, nice. And now, is that the fountain?
This is going to be the fountain. Yeah,
Now, did you glue anything, or you just cut the foam out?
I just cut the foam out.
Okay.
So I got 4 walls and I got a base. So
Are you
that's-
gonna? Is it so stone fountain, right? So what are you gonna use to? How are you gonna make it stone? Are you gonna draw the texture in? What are you gonna do?
yeah, I think I'm going to use a sharp Sharpie here, and I think I'm going to put the just carve it right in on the side. But I haven't decided yet, like, what I want to do. If it's going to be like more rounded, like I may actually just bring my phone up here and look at different types of fountains. But then again, too, now it's okay. Now I have this, but then I'm also starting to look at the actual texture of the styrofoam
Yep.
itself, and like there's parts that are carved out, and it's kind of hard to see, but it looks like it's kind of junky.
Oh yeah, that's great. That looks really
So
cool.
Yeah, so it already looks like it's like I said, it already looks like it's old and it's been picked away by time, which is perfect because
That's perfect.
that was that was my total intention. We
Yes. All right. Well, let me here. I'm gonna throw this down there. Yes. Let me show you in here. Oh, extreme close up. Boom. There it is. There's one painted coming around, but when this is like washing this thing and putting dry brush on it to hit all those highlights is going to be dope.
Oh yeah.
Great. Okay, on with more.
Now I wonder the backstory of the now here's the thing the dwarf whose face that is now
Oh,
is that of the family or is that of the architect?
I'm sure that's gonna have to be of the Egroff family. I'm hoping.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
I'm
is this the Egroff family tomb that we're
I don't
dealing with?
know. I don't. That's gonna be a Richard thing. That's gonna be a Richard thing, but I kind of feel like it might have to be, right? I don't know.
Could be,
I
could
don't
be.
know. I also had this vision too. Remember the vision I had in the campaign of at one point we went to a wizard named Geraldine in our campaign, and
Yeah.
we we all had she gave us specific visions of things that could be right, kind of like Frodo looking into that well with Kate Blanchett chilling there. Right?
Oh yeah, she
Better.
had me riding a kraken,
That's
or she had
true.
character riding a kraken.
She
I should
had
say.
she had no. It was you. You were riding the
It was
Kraken.
it was me.
No, it's so she gave us these visions, and one of my Chris got right. Udamorn, his character Lord Udamorn got the riding a Kraken into battle. Was it battle or
I think so. Yeah, something of that nature.
dude? That makes me think about where we currently are and how that probably should come to fruition. Because right now we're screwed. We'll catch you guys up. We'll give you guys a little brief. This is another cool thing we'll having Chris on. We can talk a little D&D about our campaign and what's happening in our current status. For those of you that have been following the channel and tuning in on Sundays, you know a little bit about what's going on. But there's more to it. Anyway, my vision with was my character, my battle raging dwarf barbarian fighting a bunch of undead, like a lot of undead, like by myself. With I had the coolest weapon ever created. Then I lost it. Gone. Trying to find it again, but I lost it trying to I lost it using a wish spell trying to prevent one of our party members trying to annihilate.
Well, that's what you get for being so thoughtful.
That's what I get for being so thoughtful. I was punished, and it made for a pretty cool moment. But man, am I devastated! My I had a magical great axe that I'd attached because my dwarf barbarian is a blacksmith. One of the things that I did to modify was put a mace on the butt end of the great axe, and I attached a spear to the other end of it. And when it became magical,
And it gave you 15 attacks per turn, which is pretty
no, it
dope.
didn't give me 15 attacks. I just don't know how to play the game. That's that. I can't. It's an ongoing joke in our game that everyone makes, and it never gets old because it still happens pretty frequently when I forget how to play my character, and I'm like, oh yeah, I get like 18 attacks per round. I get I get 2 attacks plus my reaction, right? I'm learning, I'm getting better, I'm growing, not just all doom and gloom. Anyway, this weapon was dope and it's gone now and I don't have it anymore
You
because of
could
that
you
use that
build
wish spell.
another.
I
Build,
did build another, but
did.
the cool thing is in that vision I did have my axe. So I'm there is a chance I could get it back. I'm gonna have to do some craziness. I know.
There's hope. I'm still looking to my spear that my sea elf have is pretty good, but I've been itching to use. I have a net that's pretty
Yeah, didn't I make
amazing.
that net? I forged that net for you.
Yeah, I think you threw some of the blood glass in it. Yeah, it'll hopefully it'll catch up to gargantuan and
Dude. Oh, that's what we use for is the worm gargantuan?
the worm might be gargantuan.
Oh, we need to capture the worm with the gargantuan net, bro.
If you're just tuning in, there's a worm that's giving our parties
Thank you. Thank you for taking
some problems. A giant
we have
worm
all the problems right now in the campaign.
I imagine that it kind of looks like the one from Beetlejuice. Like that's how I kind of did it with like the multiple head, and so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, so currently in game we are under siege. Hold on. I know what's wrong right now. You know what's wrong with me?
You're not drinking?
Yep. I'm low. I have I have no whiskey.
I'd say I join you with whiskey, but I've already picked tequila and I am not crossing the stream.
Don't cross the streams. You know better. You know better
Nope.
than that.
I don't. That's the problem.
What a good sound. Thunk.
Boom.
It's like, so I had like whatever leftover. I had some monkey shoulder, whatever this leftover McKinnon is, and then here's the kicker. Here's the backup. You ready?
Yep.
Surprise flask. I don't know what's in. Probably Bulliet from when we went. Dude, that was like the only time we went anywhere.
Oh, our social distancing.
Yeah, our social distance backpacking trip to
camping trip.
Yep. Yep.
And then like a month later, the lakes caught fire.
Yeah.
And I will say this about us, Collin. We have pretty good timing.
We do. I mean, we trained hard to become so.
Yeah, them Boy Scouts, because we knew we could just tell. We could. I think it's like you like lick your finger and you put it up in the air and you're like, yep, the fires are coming. Like, so let's go camping now. So we.
I mean, well, it's unfortunate, but we do have a fire season that's pretty easy to predict when that's gonna happen now.
Yeah.
So it's not a complete shocker. Not a complete shocker. Man, I'm gonna need more medium gray. I'm gonna need more medium gray, please. Medium gray.
Yeah. See, I'm glad I'm not getting to painting just yet, and it looks like I may only have to do maybe just 2 tombs. So we'll see.
Nice. Are you drawing? Are you working on the stone texture right now?
No, I'm just carving out the
Carbon.
Yeah, just carving out one of the tombs, because just gonna try to get a visual of the tomb and the fountain kind of together and kind of see, because I was looking, because as much as I would love to do like a stone type fountain, I was like, no, that really doesn't work.
Right.
So I'm gonna try to find I think it's just gonna have to be done. I think the texture is honestly kind of, I like the way it looks already.
I think so. Go with it. One less step you have to do. And the cool thing about the build, like, I am not going to be able to paint this entire thing. I don't know. Maybe I will if I thought I would be able to paint this quicker, but I'm also trying to navigate, like, I'm in the tiniest setup right now. Workspace. 3rd bedroom. And I'm trying to, like, the lighting isn't the best. If it's not the best lighting, I'm not painting. Such a fun, like, Chris Fort, our buddy Chris Fort knows. I'm always painting, like, oh, it is the stroke of midnight. Time to mini paint the smallest thing possible. Like, well, the reason for that, much like the rest of you, crafting. So, as a result, I paint at night sometimes, and I'm using whatever lighting I can.
And I think you're right. You hit it on the head when you said depending on what you're painting. I remember one time I DM'd a couple one shots
Dude, they were so fun. Oh my god, they were so much fun. They were the best. They were so good. They were so good. They were
and
so much fun.
and there's some characters I created that were some NPC characters that were just there to move the story along. No backstory
Oh,
really
yeah, that's
given,
right.
and you guys clung on to them to the point where I actually had to make minis, and I had to actually now we've incorporated them
They're
into
canon. They're canon in our
they
game.
are canon.
Oh
Yeah,
my
and
god.
one of them was Dolphy. Was it Dolphy?
Yeah, there's several. There's Dolphy.
Dolphy is our bartender now.
He's our bartender back at the tavern that we own in East Anchor. Anchor.
Right. So I ended up making a little miniature for him, and if you want to talk about having patience, trying to paint one of those
Oh, little
little
halfling. Little
halfling
halfling. Yeah.
figurines. Oh my God, there are not enough hours in the day or or the fineness, the pressure that you have to use on your wrist onto your other wrist so you can get that pinpoint precision to
Yep.
get like under it's oh it was
I
maddening.
remember you working on that and being so you worked a long time on all that. He's sitting up here. I've got him on my shelf. On my shelf over here, waiting for us literally to return both in person and in the game too.
Well, if he made it to your shelf, then he was the shelf of acclaim, as I'm calling it. So
It is shelf acclaim. Sure.
well, it's kind of funny. I wanted to talk about that, just the whole stories and DMing, and how I had such a blast DMing for you guys. And
What did you enjoy about running the game? What did you enjoy most about it?
I really I think what I liked most about it was kind of breaking stereotypes of the game. By that I mean there was an instance where one of them was you guys had just come down like an ash pipe or a flume where all the ash from a uh, a blacksmith shop like shot down in this underground tavern in this lake, and god damn it, there was a pixie there that was supposed to move you guys along, and you guys took her in.
What was her name? I know her
Double,
name.
well, I think it was, but then our buddy Aaron was able to call her double slap.
Yeah, Aaron was our buddy Aaron. I think was a little tipsy at that stage, like real
He
Aaron,
was,
and he
yeah.
was just like, "What? Double slap? Is that your name?" And you're like,
I think what was really funny though is that whenever I spoke as the pixie, it was always my pixie language was so kind of like a cousin it with like with Stitch a little
Yep,
bit thrown in. But
yep.
Aaron was the only one that could like understand what she was saying.
It was amazing.
So
Well, because he had to talk because we were all crying because we were laughing so hard at you two. It's awesome, and that's some of my favorite moments in game. When uh I think Richard both made the wise decision, but also the mistake in rewarding us the downtime point system for how well we role play during the game. We're
yeah,
given downtime points so we can spend those to utilize them however we want. One of our Chris Fort, who been on the show before, is running a thieves guild, so he'll spend downtime points as a resource to put into that. You can buy extra feats. We can use it to upgrade our ship. Fish called I'm sorry, a ship called
ship
Wanda,
called Wanda.
a ship called Wanda that we have, and etc. Anyway, as a result, like he told this to a group of essentially a bunch of actors. So the voices are rich and deep in this role playing experience. here by Chris. And oftentimes Chris and our buddy Aaron, really everyone, does such an amazing job with all of the voices. But Chris has voiced a lot of our NPCs and other people. Chris, my favorite one that you are currently voicing is Burf. Who's Burf? Who's Burf, Chris?
Burf is an elephant that we have now, and I originally was gonna make Burf intelligent. So whenever Burf talked, he was very intellectual, and this was the way he went about things. But it got made fun of because he sounded like everyone else. So then all of a sudden, Burf started talking like this, and then before you knew it, Burf was the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. So that's how that
So cool.
came to be. And yeah, I have super fun with the voices and the characters, and going back to the one shot.
Yes, the one shot.
There was you guys came to a bridge, and on the other side of the bridge was this band of goblins, and they were just like shot to all hell, like just bruised and beat up, and just they looked like they were like resting. And you guys were like, well, we're going to go over and we're going to go attack the goblins. And it was like, all right. So as you guys are going over, and it's like, did anyone bother to take a sneak attack or check the bridge? And they're like, nope. Okay, here come the trolls that were under the bridge that met the goblins up. And then it was like, oh, but then I think what I was most proud of was the goblins. You guys actually were able to work with the goblins.
Right.
And at the end, the goblins, I think, offered you to take them because they were so happy that, you know, you defeated the trolls, that they were going to offer you to come to Goblin Town and party and hang out with them. And you guys politely declined, even though they offered you like the goblin women, which I think it's kind of like, have you ever seen Gremlins 2? When that one gremlin is like with the wig and the red lipstick, that's what I imagine like the goblin women look like.
That's a mini paint job waiting to happen.
Oh, it's already being thought up on Hero Forge, and just the analytics are working on it. But I think what was really cool about that whole scenario was that goblins are always perceived as like the enemy and like shoot on sight sort of thing. So
right.
I think it's kind of cool. I like being able to push the boundaries of gaming, where you can make the players make choices of like, well, maybe we don't have to kill this band, or maybe we could get this band to work with us, rather than have another fight that we have to deal with. We could actually use these guys to help us with this larger enemy. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? So yeah, I think that was probably one of the most parts I was really proud of. Either that or the great big sex party that started the top of the one shot. I think that was probably my proudest moments. If
we started in a recovering from a wild night at a mansion that we had ambushed a bunch of people in this kind of like abandoned ruin. Then I guess we had thrown a raging party. We started off and like everyone was like, were we all naked? I
think you were all naked and just hung over, like, because the point was you guys had no armor. You had no weapons, and then you answered the door, and then there was a husband of a woman you had wronged, and he was out for justice. And our buddy Chris Fort, I think, had the play of the game.
Oh, dude, it was like we were 10 minutes into the game, and I'm like, they can't get any better than what just happened.
He decided to like Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator it, where his naked body on the the pile of bodies. And then once that happened, I was like, all right, I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea. No, you knew exactly what was going to happen. You're like, these guys, knuckleheads.
You guys lived up to my expectations. And
that was really good. That whole sequence of Mr. P and like his magical tea, having to track that dude down. That was a really fun one shot, brother. You ran a really good one shots. Those were really fun sessions that we had.
I'd really like to talk to Richard, because Richard actually, he got one of his one shots published, right?
Oh, did he? I'm sure he
Uh,
has. Richard's.
I thought he did. I thought it was the one that he used us as a beta test on.
Oh, back in April. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That
yeah.
was
So I
April.
wanted to talk to him about me possibly writing one, and like he's probably the guy who's brain to pick, because it's like he's done it. So
Yeah.
it's like what do we do here, fella?
That would be a fun one. You could do that one. That was a lot of fun because there was again just such a variety of
Right.
counters that we came across.
I'm not sure if
Really,
D and D or Hero Forge or D and D Beyond has a NC-17 rating, but I will
you
probably
will it will need your it will need that rating for
I
yours.
will need to know the rating ahead of time. It's not that I plan for things to be obscene, or it's when I react to it. It's like I put this
Okay.
scenario, and if it looks like it's heading in this direction, a responsible DM would be like, oh, this is heading for something inappropriate. I better steer the group back to the light side of it. I see where it's going, and I hit the accelerator and throw fire and throw fuel on the fire, and just
Right.
let this thing
Let it go.
continue to blow up.
Um, there's nothing wrong with that. Your game one shot that you awesome. Your party didn't help either. We don't help the trajectory of um
Yep, I create for my audience. I know my audience, that's for sure.
you definitely knew your audience. Um, so outside of like DMing, that was an awesome experience. What has been your favorite, most memorable moment for our campaign with Richard, as we've all been playing for the last almost 2 years now? What's been your favorite memory?
My favorite memory, honestly, as it's hard to say like in game, because there's like so many
A lot,
really
a
cool
lot.
moments that like everyone, like I will say this about Richard, he has given everyone the chance to feel like just an absolute rock star.
Right,
Like he's given everyone just the
always,
opportunity to
always.
just be the hero, and I would say before, it could have been like, for my speaking for my own character, when I defeated that sea monster, or that creature that was attacking the city through a,
Oh, Ranthier.
yeah, Elranthier. I became essentially a ball of energy and just rained down havoc on that. That could be, or recently taking a land ship and mowing through an
Oh,
army, and and skidding to a
okay.
stop.
You have to just you can't just like you have to describe you have to set it up prior and then you
Yeah,
have to talk about how you enter because that was a long burn for you that game. Like
it it, it really was.
that was challenging. So talk about the land skiff one. That was the most
So
recent. The where the
so
or
so the so the land skiff essentially, well, going back, I made the choice of staying with, we're with a desert people called the Thrycreen, and they're kind of hard to describe. They're not like bugs, but they're they're like a species that's like adapt to survive to the desert. They're like the Tuscan Raiders
yeah,
of
that's a
our
good
of
way to
our D
describe it.
of our D&D game. So I decided to stay with them, and the rest of the group was uh, over preparing and the at the city for the siege. But by doing that, though, I essentially forfeit my time to play, because I was
bringing reinforcements.
Yeah, I was bringing reinforcements, so I was on the clock. So as the monsters are just pouring in, I mean, we're talking monsters that are 20 feet high, three of them next to each other, just pounding on this wall.
Big old baddies trying to break down a gate to the city wall to burst in and start wreaking more havoc.
And then behind them is between like 10 and 15 smaller creatures that are shooting out projectiles.
Yeah, they're shooting fireballs. They're shooting
fireballs.
These little devils are shooting fireballs.
Yeah, trying to bring this gate down, and the group is not really doing well.
We're hurting.
So, cut to the distance. It looks like just a cloud is coming in from the horizon, and from it is this sand skiff. Imagine like a giant caravel ship with skis on the bottom of it, that's just kind of gliding through the sand. And this thing is huge.
Big.
I mean, they're what, like 3 levels?
Yeah. Big.
It's
Jabba's sail barge on crack.
Yeah, so I'm on Jabba's sail barge coming full, and I think Richard got me. He's like, "What's your approach?" And I said, "I'm coming in full bore because my boys are being picked apart. So I'm coming in hot, I think is what I said." So then he had me roll like 3 different so I'd take like a constitution, a dexterity, and then ended a strength, and it ended up with me coming in, skidding to a stop, laying out the archer force, or the firing force, and then crushing the 3 creatures at the wall at the gate, and me like pressing up to like the edge of the gate. Like if you ever seen Casino Royale, where James Bond is driving that gasoline truck and he's hurling at that giant 747, and he cranks on it, and the thing just wheels to a skidding stop right before it. That was my character. That was my 5 minutes that I got to play that night. But
and it was like what, 3.5 hours into the session. Like it was at the end of the night. It was at the end of the night.
Yeah, it was at the end of the night, and then I came in and gave my 5. I'm like, you know what? If I only get to play 5 minutes tonight, I'm going.
I'm gonna make the most of it.
Like I'm gonna make the most of it, or my character is going to die in a blaze of glory. So that's how that's gonna happen.
That was the best entrance ever. And I think that's right, like right where we ended the session too, was that, and I'm like, "Howdy boys, I'm here." That was a fun entrance.
Yeah, so that's what I say when it's like great moments like that. But honestly, like for me though, when our 1 year anniversary, we all got together, and we kind of had like a weekend where we went to this dungeons.
We went to this battle mage, dude.
Battle mage in like Costa Mesa.
It was almost near San Diego. I can't remember where it was, but man, I knew it was further south of us.
Yeah. So we're down there playing there, and it was super, super fun. It was like a weekend, and then we ended up renting a house, and yeah, because I think once they kicked us out of the brewery,
we went back and continued.
Yeah, we continued back at the place, and yeah, it felt like camp. Like honestly, it was like
camp. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was one of the best memories. Yep. How about yourself?
For our game in game, okay. As far as like one of the moments, dude, a lot of them revolve around your character because you've done some really cool stuff in game. Trying to think like early on.
I just don't want to say like Mike, because I know everyone's done like I really, man.
What?
Joe's had some really cool stuff.
Yeah, Joe's had great
done too.
stuff. Um, Joe's had really good stuff. Aaron sliding down the giant chain from the floating city as the giant attacking the city where we all gathering, and it was siege. And one of Aaron's a dragonborn fighter, and
And I feel like you have to say of low intelligence because
of
that.
very low intelligence. Like Burf the elephant is smarter than Cozilla. No joke. That is true
But
stats. That's true
but
stats.
honestly, like this has it brought a light on me. I never thought of it, but playing a character of that kind of intelligence, Aaron is like having the time of his life.
Oh, it's amazing.
It is so fun. The things that he does are so funny.
They're ridiculous. They're ridiculous and amazing. When he jumped down the chain, he basically was like, "I'm gonna from this giant floating city, super high up." He jumped on this giant chain and slid down it like banister, going down the side of a banister rail, like on normal staircase. If he'd have failed that, he'd have died. He would
Yep.
have died. He would have died outright, like right there. And he fucking, I don't know if he nat 20'd it, but I think he nat 20'd it. And I was like, you have to be kidding me. Couldn't believe that he had, like, I was blown away that he nat.
Yeah.
Hilarious. That was a fun moment.
I like that I like that we actually made a bar.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
So we got was it gifted? How did we get the Stony Tankard?
We probably stole it, knowing that our
We
group
didn't steal it.
we're murder hobos.
No, we got it because it was gifted to us because we saved the city from that giant. That's how we got it. Chris Fort or anyone else, any of our other friends that are in the campaign with us watching this video, let us know if we're wrong. That's what I remember. I remember we were gifted it. We didn't steal it. We don't steal everything. We're not complete murder hobos. It's
Not yet.
No, we're trying not to be. But that was fun. So the tankard has been fun. That's been a fun development game. I'm trying to think battle wise, like what's the coolest thing that I've done in game battle wise character. So I am like I'll guys give you a little bit of detail. You know, we joke about my character in game, like, and how like Chris is like, yeah, they Collin gets a billion attacks per round, but with the feats that I've taken, I can really wreck some shop.
Yeah, you can.
So like the ability for me right now, like if I multi-classed from barbarian into fighter as well. So with the fighter, I'm now a second level fighter, 10th, 11th level. I think 11th level barbarian. Anyway, whenever I crit, I add an extra d12 to damage that I roll, which is pretty intense.
What's that feat that allows you to do that?
That's just part of the race progression for barbarian, for the class progression.
Nice.
Yeah. And then also, I now have action surge as a fighter, so I can end up, if all goes well, if I have action surge with the ability. If I have great weapon master too, so if I crit or reduce an enemy to 0 HP, I get to make another melee attack. So I can attack 3 times if that happens. Plus I have you can use the bonus action as an attack, so you have to have not used your action when you do that, but that is a sweet feature to attack 3 times, and then if you action surge on top of it, forget it.
Oh, I bet.
Game over.
That sounds fun.
I'm making people go night night. I did enjoy when we were getting smoked by a big baddie called the Merovingian that was back in our day. He had a big old boat, and he had a Gatling gun on the boat that we didn't know about, and it smoked all of us, myself included, I was hiding. It was basically dwarf in a box, like Jack in a box. Bring up, haha, surprise, battle raging dwarf.
It's my dwarf in a box.
I'm gonna wreck. I didn't. I got hit in the cone of the Gatling gun, and I was down immediately. So that was hilarious. By hilarious, I mean terrible. But very funny from Richard's cracking up. He was, dude, you got smoked.
It's like, I'm gonna murder you all.
He's been trying for 2 years. He's come close. He came close that day. So in addition to that, to save us, like we had this giant Gatling gun that was wrecking shop, and Chris's character Udamorn, the sea elf, was hanging out back a little bit further, and he basically, what was the spell? What did you use? And it was
control water.
Control water. He used control water to open up the water under the boat, and the boat fell down into the water and closed it and smoked that ship and the big baddie.
I basically stole the idea from Moses.
Yeah, Moses.
I just
Moses.
Parted the sea and then just dropped that boat to the bottom of it, and then the water closed up on top of it and was like done, because we weren't going to take that boat out. That was a killer.
That would have been a maddening. That would have been a effort in madness, I think, if we tried to keep going down. For sure. Anyway, I thought that was just one of my cool moments too. Then also when we found out this whole early on, we found a letter from it was like the very first NPC we encountered in game. And again, the evolution of when we found out we have a giant Tarrasque that's buried under ice in areas of our world, and there's another NPC, if they're killed on that land, it immediately releases the ending Tarrasque that is being mined and harvested to be unleashed. And early on, we found a letter on one of the NPCs addressed to this random dude Collin, and it was from Wanda, like signed Wanda. And that has turned into one of the biggest story points of our campaign, because Wanda isn't a person, it's an organization, and we don't know who's behind it. But basically, when we discovered the letter, this letter from Wanda from that original NPC sent us up into the floating city and kind of launched the campaign. Or it didn't launch the campaign, but it was just there. These folks had ties with all the shenanigans that were going on in that city. And I don't know if that was Richard's plan, but it's something that evolved, and he followed that. And there was a reveal when we found this giant Tarrasque, and then we discovered the letter in the office that we were sneaking around. It was from Wanda. We were like, oh, this is like a lot bigger than we had thought. And it was just a really cool moment in game that was just like, no one had anticipated. We didn't anticipate it, and it was a cool twist. Really cool twist. Richard's really good with those moments of
his gaming improv skills are what super impressed me. And I think as a DM, if you're trying to do like a long-term game, like Richard's doing, like Richard's been able to keep it going and keep us entertained for almost 2 years. I mean, that tells you
everything you need to know.
Yeah. And it's like, I always wonder, like, does he have like these things already planned, or like as something happens and he's like thrown, okay, I guess I got to do this now, and then like does he go back to it? Like it's hard to say, like. Right. But yeah, if you got, I made one of my tombs here.
See it. So dude.
But I was able
Look at that. Does it just fit on top?
Yeah, I cut it and So I'll be able to.
I love it. Love it. That looks so cool, Chris. And now, and all that with the pocket knife? All that with the
Yeah,
pocket knife.
just a pocket knife. So yeah, you
Dude.
see, it's just yeah, but I kind of like that. It's like janky like that.
Oh,
Like see, like
it adds when you paint that up, that's gonna look super cool.
yeah. So, but I think what's kind of funny at the moment is like I kind of had this intention of making it like a oh well, it's going to be Dwarven and it's gonna this is what I want to build. But now it's kind of like well, I really don't know what it's going to look like when it's primed or kind of
That's all right. The build can change, and you just follow that source of inspiration, see where it takes you,
yep.
where it's gonna take you.
I probably would not do well if people paid me for things like, hey, I want you to make this. Like, okay, I know this is what you paid me for. You wanted Dwarven Cemetery, but I gave you Pixie Tea Party, and I think you're really going to enjoy what I did here. Hello,
Hello.
yeah,
Pixie. See, that's what's cool about crafting is you can have an idea. Like you said, any art, Chris. You said it earlier. Any art form, right, where you can pull that together. It'll inform itself. You'll as long as you just follow your gut and see where it takes you.
Yep.
Because again, as long as your point of it is, especially for us, we're creating some tabletop. Have fun, man.
Yeah. Well, because like I'm looking at this one right here, this other one that I want to do, and you can kind of see like this is going to be the tomb, but this is like already been like cut, and it looks like it's been withered away. So it's like, well, use that, make it. It's a tomb that was raided, and all the good stuff was taken out of it, and that could be part of the story. Is you go to this, you find this fountain in a backyard, and there's two. It looks like above ground sarcophagi around it. What do you do? And then they can inspect and find one of them looks kind of ruined. It looks like it's been broken into. The other one kind of looks intact. Okay, we're gonna open it. Did you do an Arcana check? No. Roll for initiative. Son of a bitch!
Dang
Like,
yep. Yeah, you're really good at. You love that. You're like, oh, you check for that.
What's kind of funny? Sometimes I do that on the. Sometimes I do that on the fly.
Do you?
Is like I didn't really anticipate because sometimes like I have like with my stories like I have this is where it starts and this is where it's gonna end, but and then I have like this is gonna be filler, but the filler is usually loose. So the filler is gonna be like the filler can change, but at the same time it's like oh I didn't know this was gonna happen. Shit, what can I throw at you guys? Oh, okay, I got this. Like going back to that one where I had to make you guys drink tea.
Oh yeah.
If you all drank the tea, you would be transported. And it was like, okay, cool. They'll all drink the tea. But then
we were like,
well,
we're not fucking drinking the tea.
I don't want to drink the tea.
I don't want to drink the tea. That's right. We spent a lot of time debating. Like, we were trying to figure out, like, if we drink this tea, will he kill us right now? Like,
yeah. And so y'all didn't drink the tea. And then I was like, okay. So then I had to think, and I was like, what did I do? And I set up. I was like, when you all walked into the town, there was what you assumed was a mist, a morning fog that you walked into. But what you didn't know was that was not a fog. That was what the tea would have been the antidote and cut to. Yeah. So that's like, okay, well, that gets you guys where I need to get you, so
that's good thinking on the fly. That's cool. I remember playing that and I was like, oh man, so clever. And then afterwards, you were like, "Yeah, god damn it, drink the tea, boys." And I was like, like, well, we don't trust you. You're the DM. Like, you and your tea.
And honestly, I don't think I would have been so. I mean, if it would have been like more open world, if it was a campaign, it would have been like, okay, you guys choose not to drink the tea. Then I would have had to thought of something on the fly, and I probably would have thought of A, B, and C scenario. But this was just a one shot. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say like there's friends of ours that are one shots. Their attempts at one shots are admirable. um
But they're 9 shots.
Aaron's went on for, I want to say,
6.5 hours. Six and a
six
half
and a
hours.
half hours, and Luke's one shot after 4 sessions.
It's
I
never
think
ended.
we're still in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still
We're still trying to bang that one out. Which is, that, Chris and I are joking when we say all this. Like, the one shots have been fun and amazing, and
they're
awesome.
so fun. Yeah, I absolutely love them. I totally joke. I just say that, but that's like it is. Is like I feel like with one shots, or anytime you make any type of campaign, you want to have more. You want to have more material than you
Always.
think. Like, okay, I'm doing a 30-minute one shot. Okay, if you go in with 30 minutes, you're going to fail miserably. You're gonna 30 minutes of material will go up in 10 minutes. Plan for 2 hours, I would say. I would say
2 hours is good. I think, a really cool rule that Richard gave me for that. We've been talking a lot about our buddy Richard, who runs our games. Richard Quiner is our DM for our current campaign, and he also has his own YouTube channel, the RPG Daily. If you guys haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's awesome resources for all things tabletop, especially understanding different classes and all the different subclasses. He really goes into great lengths and is breaking down all those variations and options as players to create your own characters, but also as DMs to consider when you're building around. It's a really cool channel. But he told me when I ran, because I think I've run 2 one shots. Plan for 3 encounters, but make 4. Plan for 3 big encounters, and have a 4th on standby. So pretty cool. Like, I love that, and I had, I don't know if you were there for the one shot where Joe, one of our other buddies, like, there was a shiny amulet in the rubble next to the bridge to go back down, and he couldn't pass it up, and I was just like, really? You tried to like wrestle this thing out, and it was attached to a shambling mound, and I thought I thought we were gearing it up, but then he added another 45 minutes to the game because he initiated combat with this giant shambling mound. So I was like, well, there we go. He took the bait. I think he was, but everyone else was like, out of here, bro. Shiny alone. Like, everyone else saw the writing on the wall. I was like,
was that the one where we were inside like the room, the mimic?
No, that was the mimic was Richard. That was another cool one.
That
where
dope. That's actually a memory going back to like.
That's a fun one.
That one was insane. Like, because
Richard,
like mimics are like the little treasure chest things that you see. Like, they can form like they look like objects or treasure chests, and you open it and it's like its mouth and it'll clamp down on you. Our group, we went into a room. The entire room was the mimic's mouth. Like, we were in like a giant mimic. Like, it was
the whole room. We had to break out of it. Some of us had to break out of it. I was one of them. That was a fun encounter.
Yeah, I think that's when I was asshole Udamorn. So I think I was like the first one out, and then not only was I the first one out, I made sure like the doors were like latched shut behind me.
You're like, F that mimic. I'm not going back in there.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the fun part I really like about the game too, is watching the evolution of the characters, and how like, I know for certain my character is has changed in terms of attitude and not alignment. Like his alignment is still the same where he should be, but yeah, he started off as just this uh, sea elf lord, and
Yep.
was just everything about the lord. Like going into a room and everyone's like talking and me like ahem, I was not addressed, like that
Right.
sort.
That
But
snarky, condescending, pompous, but clearly lovable. Like it was a really good balance. Like super snooty, but very lovable still at the same time. Very fun.
yeah,
That never got old. That never
yeah, I
ever
would
got old.
I would say like he wouldn't take a bullet for you, but he would designate someone to take a bullet for you. Like he would definitely
I will
go
make
out of
sure
his way.
someone else will take that bullet. 100.
Yes, he will find the right servant to take a bullet for you.
So funny. I love the uh your evolution. We also had one of our players. Dude, can we talk about this too? And you guys, I want to hear from you guys out there. Um, have you ever drawn from the deck of many things? Right? Have you drawn from the deck of many things, and what did you draw? Right? Because our current situation in where we are
Is because of
is
the
because
goddamn
I mean
anything.
it's really, it has the impact to just dramatically change the trajectory of any campaign, and it is highly impacted happen steps. The siege of Hanlish that we're fighting right now is a direct result of the deck of many things. So pretty wild. So put in the comments below in this video, like, have you guys drawn from the deck? What did you draw? Is it still impacting gameplay? How many times have you drawn the deck? Uh, our campaign, our group has drawn twice from the deck, and each time, like what is it, like the first time, like we drew, someone was like, I draw 3 cards, and Richard's like, okay, like it was crazy. As a result, um, our big dumb fighter, whom we love, our Dragonborn fighter, ended up turning evil as a result of that.
Yeah.
One guy, I think Chris's breakdown was my favorite. Chris's breakdown favorite. Chris Fort drew the card that allows you to reverse any scenario.
Oh my god, dude, that was yeah.
So he drew
Go
that. So it's
for
a
it.
good card. That's a good card, right? Oh, I can't remember what the name of the card is. But he drew this card, and
It should have been called the share card because he could turn back time.
hardy har. More tequila for you. The likes of him was never seen again, ladies. That's Chris Martin, ladies.
Thank you.
He'll be here for another 10 minutes.
10 minutes, that's all. You.
Anyway, so he drew that card, and then the next card, he vanished, went to another plane of existence, and he was just like, well, I used this card to reverse that, and came back, and then drew a third card, and then proceeded to he lost his soul. His body went lifeless, dropped dead, and like his soul got captured in a soul gem somewhere.
That's right. We spent a whole session.
That was that was my first one shot that I
to getting his soul back.
Right.
That's right. That's nuts. How, like you said, the deck of many things, how it can change the trajectory of a campaign because of that, that was now canon for our campaign.
Well, that itself, when he drew, that was during one of our normal campaign sessions. I asked Richard if I could run one shot to like try to get his soul back. And Richard was like,
That's
in the
right.
future, I want to run these. Like he's like, I want your one shots. They could be your characters, but they're going to be separate from the campaign. Um,
Which makes sense because if we had all the gear from the one shots
oh,
that
dude,
carried over into the campaigns, we would be gods.
yeah. We totally would be. So, I mean, we're already OP, but now we would be, dude, nuts. Okay, let's see. This is Dwarven Spire here is dried. It's looking pretty
Nice.
cool. Got
My
the
other,
first. You
my
see?
other. T-
See,
See
I
that
like that, dude. You get a
right
little
there?
skeleton hand. It could be like they're breaking. Maybe it's been raided, but they could be have broken out.
Yep. Something was supposed to be stored in, and it's like, oh, this was supposed to keep something evil and locked in, and it's gone.
Yep.
So that's what I got so far. I got my two tombs,
Dude,
right there, just side by side. Actually, the
love
same
them.
size too, which is
I
dope.
love those tombs. So talk to us a little bit more about those tombs, Chris. Like you use the pocket knife, and it was just the regular packaging styrofoam, right? That you've used
Yeah, it
before.
was just regular packaging styrofoam, and rather than cut out the walls because they're already the grooves were already in there. They were already what they needed to be for what my intention was. My intention was, well, it looks like I can make stone caskets or tombs out of these.
Right.
So rather than fight against what is given you, let's just take what it is. Kind of like with a mold of clay, right? If a mold of clay is like already looking like something, like why completely reshape it? It's like, no, this is the direction it's going. So let's just, or
Stay with it.
woodworking, I guess would be the better. I don't work with clay or wood, so I don't know what the right version of that would
Make
be.
it up, bro.
Yeah.
You're the expert. It's
Yeah. So when working with clay or wood or
the
styrofoam,
artist. The
yeah.
artist. Just you refer to yourself in that like the artist.
Yeah. So
Does
I like the way that they came out too because I mean they're pretty much the same size, so that's going to be cool there. So then I have this with them. So this is maybe a pond in front of
dude?
two crypts side by side that is
Eh,
like maybe
I
yeah, so
like
maybe like
that.
private cemetery type deal. So imagine this flat, this is like a pool, and then these two things behind it. So
That's
yeah,
that's gonna be a fun one to see evolve. I'm anxious to see how you're gonna paint it up. Like that's gonna be a fun one. Because like
yeah. Plus, it gives
those
me a reason to come back on the show. Haha.
ha 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 ha. Well, you're more than welcome. I'm doing it again on Wednesday. On
Hey,
Wednesday. So if you want to come back, you're more than welcome to come hang out with me and continue building and developing your crypts, bro.
sure. We'll see where I am
Yeah.
holiday wise.
Oh, that's true. That's true. True.
But
Is
yeah, this is super. Yeah, can you show the uh what you did again? Can I see
yeah,
the
I'll kind of swoop it in here. Let me grab everyone here. I'm trying to see if we're at the best lighting, guys. But we'll back in here. This is the first pillar painted.
nice?
And I got all
Oh
of the
man,
top.
you went to town on that. Look at that.
Yeah, it's coming along. I got the center there. I should just I
Was that just driving you insane, leaving it
well
like that?
I should have painted it earlier. Big deal. Like okay, like it's just the pink XPS from when Michael had secured it initially, and then ripped it off because it wouldn't be best to trade. It probably would have broken its 5,000 mile journey across the way. So now it's painted. There we go. I feel better about it. So the whole stone texture on the top side has been base coated. It I don't know what to do. Dude. see, like, but the texture of this bark is so cool, dude. This is bark that he cooked and put on here. It's gonna make killer stone. It's gonna make killer stone. It's stonework. So
Yeah, that looks amazing.
it's just gonna bring out a lot of detail.
So
Oh,
he took bark pieces and put them together.
correct.
Huh.
But he put so you cook it to like kill off all the bacteria, and then he just glued them down to the base. But like it's got it over here, got this piece, just the texture alone on here. When I go to dry brush and put all this, bring this to life, it just looks great.
I
Really
kind of
looking.
like the way it even. I kind of like the blackness to it. It almost kind of looks volcanic.
Yeah, when
You know what I mean? Like, because
yeah,
if it,
yeah,
well, because isn't like Nelock isn't like that the
part
place
of
he
it.
was at.
It's part Xanis is where the hometown for my character is, but Cremoria, which has the volcano, and it's basically like the incinerary for the continent, and stuff, and pay people to haul it off and get rid of your trash. And it's definitely got that kind of obsidian vibe to it, and it's a swamp. It's kind of like think of like marshlands, the swamplands, like bayou kind of status, but then also vibing with this kind of like volcanic look for sure, dude.
Yeah, I like it.
And it was good. Like I was able to get like I kind of wanted to get one thing done tonight on the stream, and getting the tops. I didn't quite get. I wanted to get all of the tops. I didn't quite get there. That's okay. That's what this live stream is for. That's okay. I don't have to finish. Don't have to finish the product. The project. Cool.
See, you at least had an idea of what you were doing. I was just cutting out stuff, thinking like, what can this be?
This is literally pure play for me, bro, because I don't have to design it. Right? That's not true. There is a design element to the one shot, and or not the one shot, but the design element to how this whole encounter is going to play off and what's going to happen as a result of it. So like how we when we get into the underground of the catacombs underneath the tombs, like what are the encounters going to be? What do those look like? How do I develop there? I'm thinking, as we've been talking about, you brought up something that was really cool, with that, not having seen Michael's video about the cemetery, Chris, and he talks about dwarven architecture and how cool and unique it is and how much he likes it, and that idea of the symmetry. But I really am thinking that I try to create some dwarven like stone, like what could stone dwarven what does stone dwarven furniture look like? That's kind of like one of my thoughts with that.
I like that. I also kind of like I was coming up ideas in my head like what if like the cemetery up top was almost like a way to keep people what's buried down below is not dwarven. It's what they put like something
Oh,
evil, something, like very witch king
oh,
type of deal. Like they killed an enemy in combat and they had to dispose of him, so they buried him under that, and then they built that on top of it is kind of a way to.
that's cool. So it's masking the true identity of what lies underneath. Oh, that's fun, brother. I like that. See, that's that. There's that. There's that one shot DM mastermind. There's that one shot DM mastermind. Okay. Um, I really also like. Keep. I have to like keep painting this. See, I see a spot. Um, but the uh having there be more to be discovered underneath here, I think is super that's a great game plan. I think that's going to be a fun thing to discover as we develop it. So
Is there any way, or is there I think it'd be kind of cool if you put like yourself, like you could do like a little torch or something that you could put on that particular catacomb to like something that opens it, you know what I mean? Because if it
Yeah.
isn't like something that you would do, or maybe it's over by the rocks, or like maybe there's like a specific rock that's a different color than the
Oh
rest
yeah.
of the rock. You
I've
know what I mean?
I've
Like there's
I've
something they got to find or trigger that'll open that.
I've thought about that. Like, are you talking about up here on the top on the surface
Yeah,
area?
yeah.
A really good idea. You know, how is it activated? What is different? And I think that's a wonderful. What is it about this door that activates that trigger to open it up for the
Is it the
encounter to
center?
play?
Is it the center spire? Like you got to place like your hands on it. Maybe you could put like little handprints or so. I mean, there's just like
Oh,
I
there's
think
so
it's kind
much.
of
There's
yeah.
so
I think it's
much.
kind of cool when you think of like when there's always a hidden compartment. Half the fun is like, well, how does it open? You know, like
Um,
the traditional library, the book, or the button under the statue sort of thing. But yeah, I think there's something to kind of just think about.
the more and more I think about like this project and like it's not just, that's what's so cool about what Michael created is it's not just a piece of terrain to paint. It's an entire encounter to develop. And that goes hand in hand. There's a little bit of, I always, whenever we started to do this too, with Richard, throughout almost a year ago, before we stopped playing in person. But he was like, "Hey, can you create this piece of terrain for me with this in play?" And he was very specific about a particular piece. Like when we escaped the Melted Dragon tavern, and he was like, "I want like a center spire," and he was like this. Well, he was very specific about, "I want like a little well." And I was like, "Why do you want a well?" Something with that, and he had that positioned us there and like to figure it out, and like it was that ended up being our escape into the sewer system, right? To get away from all the dragons and um hashtag don't cast fireball at a peaceful meeting. um
Yeah. I didn't ask how big the room was. I
I
said
didn't
I cast fireball.
I said I cast fireball. So fucking hilarious. um So anyway, the cool thing about this particular build is it's not just painting. It is in developing, getting to create those little nuances of what an encounter could be, and at least giving the players an idea of what could be as well as the DM. So I think that's really cool. All that to say, I don't think I'm going to finish this piece on Wednesday.
I don't
I
think so either. I
I
don't
think
think so. But I really did like what you said about. I think what's cool too is like when we both looked at that piece, we each had different ideas of how it could be used. Like, and I think that's cool too. I think that says a lot about miniatures when it comes to
mm,
gaming. By looking at a piece, one DM could look at it and go, "Oh, this is how I'm going to use it," and then someone else can look at it and go, "Oh, I see this out of it in using it."
right.
Like I said, I saw something where it could be like a tomb underneath that was used to imprison something, whereas it could just be like, no, that's the where the family keeps the valuables, you know, when they're buried. You like, you know, that's where they really bury them. You know, up top's the facade burial, but down below is like where they keep all the goodies.
Yeah, where all the goodies lie in wait. I think I think it, it, I lost my mind when I saw the video when Michael first produced the build video and how to create it. And then I saw it in person and I was blown away at the detail. Like as this thing comes to life, I'm just it's just it's truly a joy to paint and work on. And I'm glad you're gonna. I think I'm just gonna ensnare you, brother. Like if you're around and you're available, you're just gonna have to. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to craft with me, brother, and help me develop it. Fun. It'll be fun to pick your brain on this one. And
No, it's like blast.
I'm excited for you guys too. Like that's kind of what I want these crafting sessions that I'm just doing by myself with whatever builds I'm working on. Like it literally could be anything that I don't know what I'm going to work on. For sometimes it'll be like I said, these cross collaboration builds. Sometimes it'll just be like pulling stuff from, this is from the stream yesterday. It would Broad Boom. This is pretty cool. I don't know if it shows off can you see so this texture, Chris? I don't know if I'm showing you this, but this is taking the pencil, very flat edge of the pencil, and if you look in on the stone, it's literally drawn in on each individual stone. So cool,
That's
man.
wild.
Yeah, I enjoy that. So I may be finishing up builds from the Sunday live stream, but I also here's what I want to talk to you about, Chris, and the rest of the viewership out there. One thing that I've always enjoyed making, and you know this because a year ago, I made dioramas, part of the 1 anniversary for all the campaign, and I had a
got mine right over here.
Is it? Can you grab it? Grab it. I want to show it to everyone. This is dope, man. This is one of my favorite things that I've built so far. This process and getting into the diorama making for our 1 year anniversary, I made dioramas matching each of our individual characters for all my friends in the campaign. Oh, Udamorn's right there. So there's Udamorn. Oh, man, I miss seeing that person. Can you grab Udamorn? Don't let him fall. But
yeah,
like,
I'll grab. I got both of them on here. Yeah, there's
nice. Version 1.0. There it is. There's Udamorn. So dope. So great.
And here's OG.
The OG one, the version 1.0. Oh man, that's the one I know and love too. Man.
So young, so naive.
So young, so naive before we knew. But this is the diorama, right? So remember Chris was talking about his deity of Jahan, so this was kind of like me envisioning when Chris left to go study at the monastery, he went and paid homage to Jahan before he left, and on there I created a bunch of barnacles. I think the barnacles are my favorite part.
The barnacle are ridiculously
The barnacles
cool.
are my favorite part. So those I created. I just used hot glue, and then as it was hardening, I took a toothpick and I pushed it in. I threw some Agrax Earthshade on top of it after I a little bit of baking out, and I create those cool sea barnacles. The net is a loofah, like loofah sponge that I've unraveled. Pretty cool.
It's a loofah, the net.
Yeah, it's a loofah.
Yep. I love this little bundle here. It's kind of hard to see, but like there's like a spear.
Yeah, he's got a spear in there, and like his just stuff. Like he's getting ready to leave. He's got the little anchor tied down.
Yeah, the ropes. You even got the where the rope ties, the little.
It's fun, man. Like, so those dioramas there were the next stage that kind of took my crafting. I think kind of propelled me further into the hobby, because I literally spent about 2.5 months working on, and I hadn't really done anything that intricate before, and I had a blast working. And I was giddy with glee to like give those to you guys. So I'm thinking, Chris, about doing that, making dioramas. And given the thing, I know you and I and the rest of our colleagues and companions that are in the arts and the performing arts we miss performing. We miss being a part of that community. And I was trying to find ways to like take the best of both worlds for me. How can I take my realm, my love of acting, my love of film, my love of fight direction, and crafting, and combine them all? I think I have a pretty cool idea. I want to take movie scenes, famous fight scenes from film and television, and make them into dioramas. So it's a multiple step process, and these are going to take time because dioramas take time. I want to try to challenge myself and make them. How big would you say that diorama is?
This is about the size of my hand. That's
okay.
about, yeah. So I'd say minus the fingertips.
Minus the finger you lost earlier on the stream.
Yeah, that was this one. Yeah, it's a fairly good, but I love that when you said like specifically movie fight scenes, is I could already see one in my mind from Kill Bill when
Oh,
she is Kiddo is fighting O-Ren Ishii in the snow.
oh
Like,
shit.
how cool would that be? Is just because you just have them on the snow with like that little shack in the background, and them like that right then and there would be like price of admission.
The other one that makes you made me think of with Kill Bill, dude. Oh man, is when she's like being surrounded by the crazy 88s, and she's that underlit that floor that you can light if we lit it from underneath, and it's all like there's like body parts and stuff strewn around, and she's looking at the reflection right before they all attack her. That
That's
would be.
super cool.
I like your like, dude. There is a ton of like kill. That's gonna be a hard like. Maybe
Dude,
I have
I'm
to
like
do a Kill Bill
thinking
series. Maybe I have to do a
I'm
series
I'm
of it.
even gonna go deep. You could do the alley fight in They Live with Roddy Piper and Lewitt Gossett Jr. when he's trying to get him to put his sunglasses on. He's like, I ain't wearing the goddamn glasses, and they just have this. If you haven't seen They Live, first of all, it is one of the coolest 80s movies ever. It's Roddy Piper. It's pretty iconic. He finds these sunglasses and he puts them on, and he can see these aliens that have taken over the planet, and he could see
Dude.
all their subliminal signs of obey and but there's a that's like pretty iconic. I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. That's like, that in itself. But
Yep.
what people forget, the knockdown drag out fight that him and Louis Gossett Jr. have in the alley is one of the most brutal and savage fights I can think of. But I don't
Dude.
know if but that's like, I think, going for myself personally, I'm trying to think of like what is like more iconic. What
It doesn't have to be like that's what's so cool about.
Gladiator.
Oh, yeah.
Maximus going against the guy in the mask,
Oh
the
yeah, the big
yeah,
old
with
the
and then
retired
you could have
gladiator that comes
a
back.
tiger. You get a tiger coming out of the bottom of
That's a
it.
cool one, just of him like trying to shank the tiger as he's like protecting himself too. That's a really good one. Um, as I'm speaking, we're talking about the tiger. I felt myself. I'm like, I'm starting to feel just a titch of the whiskey, just a titch, just
Just
a
a tip.
titch. It's just a titch of the whiskey is starting to
It's
kick in.
the eye of the tiger.
Oh no, um, but there's a ton. All of that to say, see, and that's why I knew you would be a great person to kind of bounce this off of, is because our affiliation and our love for film, and especially we you've always appreciate a good fight like any other chap on
I
film,
do. It
and
in
I
a mini
think
myself.
I think they're again something that are so much of what I do in the hobby is inspired by our wild bunch, our own wild bunch, which is what we call ourselves in the game. But outside of the game, like Hero Forge is an awesome thing, and I always crack up. Like we have, I don't know if you guys do this, but we do. We have an ongoing. We have a text chat. We have a text chain. We have a Facebook Messenger thread where we're all shooting, quips about the games, ideas about the game, strategy, just fun moments. But everyone has created Hero Forge characters, and now that they have the version 2.0 that allows you to paint them and stuff, the group literally, when we get bored, will just send like one day my favorite was the 80s action hero like that you all started sending, and it's you and Aaron specifically that go hog
Oh, dude,
friggin'
we went
wild.
nuts. Yeah,
So
I
funny.
think like Die Hard was on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indiana Jones. Um, God, I think at one point we started to do all the Street Fighter characters. Like Ken and Ryu were done. I
Yep.
did Bison. That one
Everyone.
came out really well.
Everyone's getting done up. But
Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Mortal Kombat.
all
Like
of them.
there's
It's
nothing
basically
stopping.
our childhood got vomited onto Hero Forge. I hope they save. There's like some sort of feature where they save all of the stuff that
Oh, I
is
saved all of
built.
mine.
Well,
I
but I'm
saved.
hoping they get to see. I hope there's someone's job that gets paid to like view all the things that people create and go, haha, and like try to like enhance the tools and the builder that they have, but I'm sure there's I would love to be that person at that job. All that to say, Hero Forge is a great resource where part of that build process, when I do the dioramas, I would like this is where I think it'd be kind of cool to engage audience members, where all the Crazy Crafter subscribers, random I don't care if you're a subscriber or not, stop by and like, can you come on with me and create, like, have the guests create the Hero Forge like characters, and then all I have to do, they just have to like share it with me somehow, and then I can print the STL file at home with the 3D resin printer that I have, and then incorporate that into the build. So getting people like having folks like I definitely going to be hitting you up for designs.
I already have in mind talking about fights. I have my diorama in my head.
Yep.
It's yours? I'm not gonna lie. It's ambitious.
I like ambitious.
It is very ambitious.
I'm trying to keep it to the size of the ones that I made, like small. Less is more. But what is your ambitious? What is your ambitious?
I think one of the best fight scenes in cinema. Now you may fight me on this, and the viewers may fight me on this, but we may need to take a ruling. Quint versus the shark in Jaws.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm not going to fight you on it. It's a different type of struggle and fight, but I like it. Oh man, that's that is a challenging.
Water sharks in the water.
How do you do that? Do you do the whole boat? Do you do?
I would do where the shark's head is on the back of the boat, and Quint is got his legs at the mouth, and then
he's like trying to fight, like right before he gets eaten, dude.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: Quint gets eaten.
Hashtag RIP Quint. Hashtag RIP Orca 2. That to me is like Jaws. Jaws is probably without a doubt one of my favorite movies of all time. But when you say fight scene in movie, I that's kind of where I go to, because that is a fight. Like they are literally fighting.
I would constitute that. And that's another reason why I want everyone's input and feedback from from the audience. Is I want ideas and suggestions. If you have an idea for a diorama, right? If you'd like to see something be brought to life, leave it in the comment. Email me at Crazy Crafter. Tag me on Instagram with an image from your favorite still scene. I'm going to go ahead and tell you the first one that I'm going to create. After I finish up the Dwarven Cemetery, I'm going to
try to guess. I'm going to try to guess it.
What is it?
Okay. Sean Bean, Lord of the Rings. Oh. Arrows through the chest.
Dude. That would be amazing. We have to have a Sean Bean moment, dude. There's several Sean Bean like moments you could have for diorama mode. That's a good one.
Sean Bean, and then what was the other one? The guy that was in Alien that had the going through his chest.
John Hurt.
John Hurt and Sean Bean are like peas in a pod.
They are peas in a pod. I like the idea of like Sean Bean with the arrows. You could have like the big urukai with like the bow drawn, like aiming at him. That's really cool. Or just like Sean Bean, like surrounded by like with the arrows, and maybe like burying Pip off, or just like Sean Bean like down with like the horn in his hand. Like that's just a good one by itself. Yeah.
And Strider's just like right there, like just like trying to run over.
I'm gonna jump in and like wreck this
dude.
Get him. My first diorama. It's not. That's a good guess. My first diorama that I'm gonna do is the sword fight on the Cliffs of Insanity with Inigo Montoya and Dread Pirate Roberts.
Absolutely.
It is my favorite sword. That's a hard one. That's another one.
To attack with capoeira.
Naturally. But I find Tybalt cancels out cancels out Capoferro. Oh, hello, Whiskey. You're coming on quick.
Hello,
Whiskey. Anyway, I think it's such a cool area, and I was looking at images the other day when I came up with the idea, and I already went on Hero Forge. I cheated a little bit. I didn't cheat. I'm doing it. I wanted to create the Hero Forge characters And I'm also going to try something that I've never done before, which is win that sword fight. I'm going to try to. Hero Forge is glorious, but what I feel they don't excel at is their rapier selection. And for a an, a sword nut, and someone who spends their time has spent a lot of time studying the history of swords and the evolution of sword play, as well as the evolution of sword making and development. Your rapier selection sucks. You have a single cup hilt rapier with a very wide blade that doesn't narrow a taper. It's not juicy and exciting at all. I cannot use it for this diorama, so I'm gonna have to make the swords, which I've never done before. And I'm hoping one of the armorers. I'm gonna try to, maybe I'll consult multiple ones. But a lot of my friends and colleagues that I've purchased stage combat worthy weapons from, they make these theatrical props. So I may have them come on the stream, or at least have a phone call with them. It'd be cool to have like Tom Fiocchi or Jesse Belsky or Lewis Shaw or Carrie Stagmeyer or Neil Massey pop on the show and talk about sword making and how can we translate the 36-inch blade swept hilt rapier into a 28 millimeter scale. Like, I don't know. It's something I've never done before, so I'm excited to go down that road with this diorama. That's going to be a big challenge for the first one.
What I love about that is you could actually build that diorama into 3 parts. You build the first one, and then your second one is Wesley and Fezzik, and you could have him like where he's on his back choking him, or you could have where he's got the rock and he's just kind of like, and then the third one can be where he's at the table with Vicini doing the battle of
the wits. Oh, wow.
Right. So I think you could do that. You could do the first one, and then like if you want to do a second one to like attach to it, so you could almost make it like a one diorama, but in 3 parts. So you could make like the one part, and then the second part could come later, and then you could make the Vicini and Wesley in the third.
Damn you, Martin! Damn you, Chris Martin! That's a really good idea, and that's a lot. That's like there's half a year's of stream right there.
I know. I feel bad
streams.
Because I'm always the idea maker, but when it comes down to practicality and like actually how's this going to work, I'm like, I didn't say how I was going to make it work. I just thought of the idea.
That'd be cool.
It's probably not in the realm of possible. It's probably a 5-year project.
Right.
Now that I think about it out loud, but I always just think of like,
well, you can always come back to it. You could always
totally.
Like move on. You can always come back to it and do
but
different ones.
I'm not trying to say that like the diorama in itself is I don't want to make it sound like I'm lessening just the one, because I think the one in itself is the sword fight is just so iconic. And I think that's, God, there's just so much I could see with the diorama. I would love to do a Ghostbusters one.
Ghostbusters would be cool.
Where it's just a diorama where it's a hotel hallway. And Vacan's on the radio.
I'm in,
and then,
Ray.
Then you got a slime on the other side. It's right here, Ray. It's looking at me. Like, I think that there's like so many, and plus you're working with gelatin right now, so I'm pretty sure you can come up with a Slimer, no problem.
That
with the
project
way
failed.
The way you're
Chris is referring to my that I threw away because it melted and was like leaking out, and I was like, oh. I learned I have to layer it. I tried making a gelatinous cube Saturday. I tried making a gelatinous cube on Saturday, a no paint gelatinous cube. Working on it. You've got a no paint gelatinous cube idea, send it to me, or let me know, and I'll have you come on the stream and you'll build it for us. But I'm working on a no paint gelatinous cube build for everyone to share. But there's cool ways to do the slime, and I think dude, anything's possible. I'm all about the texture. I really like the texture in the builds, and it does make all the difference in the world, which is why it leaves me wanting with those. With the weapons from Hero Forge, at least the rapier. I like a lot of the weapons. All the weapons, they have a really good selection. You have 10 different selections of like sci-fi pistols and rays, but when it comes to a rapier, you have one choice. You're killing me, Hero Forge. You're
Yeah.
killing me. If anyone from Hero Forge is watching this, I really love Hero Forge, but gosh darn it, give me some variety in my desired rapier selection, please.
Hashtag better rapiers.
Hashtag better rapiers.
I also think it would be, well, the thing is though too is like what I'm thinking is like diorama is it's what you could make off of Hero Forge, because it's the characters that are going to be on Hero Forge, right, that are going to go on the diorama, because I'm starting to get out of the realm of what Hero Forge could do. So now it's like, okay, I need to go back a little bit, because I thought about, oh dude, if you could do Predator and Arnold Schwarzenegger facing off, like that would be dope. But then it's like, you can't build a Predator on Hero Forge. Stop it. So I think need to think of what can be done. But I think that's what's kind of cool is like what we've been doing with like just with the Hero Forge characters, of like what we can make, and like the creativity of like Street Fighter. You could make Street Fighter. We've proven you could do Mortal Kombat.
Right.
We've proven you can. So it's.
And you don't have to complete the entire they don't have the Dread Pirate Roberts has the black mask that goes across the covering across the forehead and the eyes. They don't have that in Hero Forge, so I created the Dread Pirate Roberts as much as I could, and then I'll have to add that somehow. So can you make can you make a Predator as much as you can, and then add just like maybe basically kit bash it? You could.
I think you could, because I think with Wesley, I think honestly a real easy for that is take some green stuff, smash it down as thin as you possibly can, and then just like
that's a good one.
Make like a hood out of it. I think that's
he's got the bandana. So that's done. It literally just needs to be the mask would be the only thing. I thought green stuff. I thought tissue paper, right? I thought baby wipe. Baby wipe is probably a little thicker, a little bit more pliable, right? Baby wipe with that, and then my initial thought was baby wipe, and basically kind of like paper mache it and mold it on there. But green stuff is a good that's a really good one too, because you can shape it to the face, pull it off, and hold that shape. Let it dry, paint it up, and reapply it very, very easily. I like the green stuff idea a lot.
Yep. Really good, Chris. I sometimes get good ideas every once in a while.
You get good ideas all the time. You sunk a giant ship with a Gatling gun and saved our entire party that one night.
I just like now it's on video, so people will know. It's like it happens regularly, which is great.
It does. It does.
Yeah. So I think that in conclusion, I think the diorama idea I think is great. There was actually a thing I was looking at on Instagram where someone had made a diorama that fits into a bookcase. Where
dude, book nooks are like the thing right now, bro.
But it was insane. Like they actually made lights in it. Like there was like, it was like, okay, so you have your bookcase, and then there was like the one book that was missing, and inside was like a library that like went through. So you had like a little person, and then you had like books, and then but you had like lamps, and there were actual lights in the lamps, and it looked like that. Then they made it look like that it was coming back deeper into the bookshelf. So it looked like it was like this little miniature library inside the bookshelf that was actually lit. And I'm looking at this thing just going like, how in the hell are they able to pull that off? Because now we're talking diorama, now we're talking painting, now we're talking bringing electricity into this, and the creativity of people and art, like it blows my mind. It makes amazing, me giddy, right? When I see things like that.
I got really excited about the dioramas, and then I was just like, I can't be the only person that's had this idea. And there's a couple other, I know there's probably many more content creators out there, but name's Josh from the Pickle Jar is the name of the channel. The Pickle Jar is the name of the Pickle Jar is the name of the channel, and they just did a Christmas diorama. And what did they do for Christmas movie diorama? They did Die Hard, and he created this whole, it's of him like the glass breaking and him running away. It's awesome. So I'm excited about I'm excited to do that. It's just again trying to think of what I enjoy and something that the reason I like the diorama, or as Josh in the pickle jar referred to it as creating a vignette, because it is a vignette that you create this moment in time that's captured,
Yeah.
is that building those dioramas were a quintessential development in my hobby, in my terrain crafting, in my tabletop crafting technique, because all of your dioramas that I created forced me to learn new techniques that I'd never done before and perfected old ones. Like I was just like, what is C? Like how do I make your diorama stand out? Like, what's unique to that environment? I'm like, oh, barnacles. How do I make a barnacle? I've never made a barnacle before. So, it really forces, the diorama forces you to think about what you have available and what you can utilize, just like you did tonight with the styrofoam and creating the tombs out of it. So, I think it's a great exercise in resourcefulness, and
Yeah,
I think it'll be a lot of fun.
and I think you hit the nail on the head when you said less is more, because when you're looking at the the movies, even like the diorama, when I'm looking at it now, it's like it's so like there's so much to look at, but then when you break it down, it's like, okay, it's very simple. I mean, there's a lot going on, but it's
Yeah.
like it's not like taking you in so many directions. So I think that's why when I think of the Kill Bill scene, it's like, okay, you got the bride, you got Oren, you got them in that snow courtyard, and that's what stands out. And it's like
Mm,
maybe you could have like a couple other things in the background, but it's like it's what's going to. It's like I feel like with dioramas, like you said, it's that vignette, it's that moment in time. It's like what specifically stands out in that moment of time. Like what is it that makes that? Like what automatically, where does your brain go when you think of that scene? And for me, when you were saying like the Inigo and Wesley from Princess Bride, when
mm-hmm.
they're doing the fencing, it's like, okay, when I think of that scene and when you think of that scene, we're both, there's no way we're thinking of the exact same still frame moment.
Which
Like
steel frame comes to your mind?
I think of it when they're on the staircase, right before, like as Wesley's backing up and Diego's coming up, right before he gets him, he's like, "Why are you smiling? There's something you don't know. I am also left-handed." You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yep. I know
but it's
exactly
that
what you
it's where
mean.
they're on that staircase
Yep.
going up. Like when I
Yep.
think of that scene, like the whole scene plays out in my head, but that's the specific scene. That moment is what sticks out for me. And
Yep.
what? How about yourself?
I mean, I think the thing that sticks out for me is, um, I was looking at it from kind of how it was interesting. I was looking at it from a dynamic standpoint, um, and trying to figure out what what created like the most interesting shape in each. Yeah. Um, so for me, that was easily the I wanted it to be in the middle of an attack and a defense, right? I wanted an attack and I wanted a parry. So I looked at some moments, and there's this really cool moment where uh, it's gonna be a crappy picture to show everyone because it's black and white and it's on a webcam, but I'm gonna show it to you.
Oh,
I'm gonna try to find it here. Here it is.
I'm all for it. Yeah, it's right before they're going up the stairs. Look at that.
This is I think this is the moment. This is after the stair moment. This
Oh,
is
okay.
getting near towards the end after he's done like the flip over and he's picked the sword
I
up.
got
But
okay.
I like the change in elevation. One is high, one is low. It's a dynamic moment. We're both in an active lunge. Wesley's in a parry of two, and Inigo Montoya is trying to cut him. He's in the act of a cut. But then also, Chris, if you look at the back, look at the foreground. It's hard to see here, but you see all the archways and the
Yeah.
stonework.
Yep.
So I kind of wanted like this flat surface where someone's up on a little bit of a rocky wall, but then underlaid in the back to create literally from that POV perspective, that's the image that I had drawn in my mind. So that's what I'm going to try to do.
That's cool. I really,
Yeah.
really like that.
I think it'd be cool. I think I'm crazy for trying to, I think I'm really looking forward to the challenge of trying to create these little rapiers.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Inigo Montoya's sword that the six-fingered man slaughtered his father for creating, who's a great sword maker, is a swept tilt rapier. And then Wesley has a double side ring rapier that has two little small rings with the cross guard or the queons shooting out. So the Wesley sword's not as hard. The intricacy and the the bling is the word that I'm coming up with on the swept tilt is going to be challenging, but that'll be fun. That'll be those are like, dude, you want to talk about probably just a week of crafting alone. Those things are going to take some time.
So having to make the Iego's sword, the heart, that's oof. I don't envy cool. That, and it's only going to be the size of your pinky, if that. Pinky nail.
I don't know how I'm going to do it, dude. I'm going to try. So we'll
tinfoil and toothpicks.
I'm going to start with jeweler's rings. Like the little rings, and try to like manipulate and go from there. I've got some other ideas.
Actually, it's kind of funny you say that. Like I was looking through like what I was gotten here. Like I was looking at styrofoam. There was some stuff, and there's like these little tiny screws. And I imagine like, man, if like one of these was like, you could somehow file this down.
You could. Let's see.
Like that could be kind of almost rapier-ish. It's not a bad idea, actually. Taking a screw and then putting in a little bottom half of it. Man.
Hold on here. Is someone says they're blowing up the chat here? I don't see anyone in the chat.
Who's blowing up the chat?
Amy Root says she's blowing up the chat. I don't see you, Amy.
What's up,
Root?
Amy? How you doing, girl?
Amy Root says she's blowing up the chat. I don't see it, bro. It's not anywhere.
Am I looking at the chat?
Anyway,
I see the message you sent me to everyone.
The chat, you'd have to go to the stream there. I don't see anyone. That's so weird that I don't see the chat. I don't see anyone in the chat here. Well, let me test this out. Why don't I don't see anyone in the chat? Testing 1 2. See anyone in the chat? Let's see. So apparently I'm getting a text message from friends. Amy saying hi, Chris. Hi, Michael. I'm not seeing anything that you're typing in text, which is so weird. Because normally like everything appears live, but anyway. Well, if Michael is on the stream, we can definitely. My Sue woke up and blurry-eyed to check in. Oh, cool, blurry-eyed Michael. Well, let's do this. If Amy's out there real quick, I don't know how long she's been there. Have you? Oh yeah, you're gonna say good morning. Say good morning to everyone. Anyway, Chris built some really cool tombs out of some styrofoam and a pocket knife tonight. So that was pretty cool. I see you. I see. Can you show those? Show those tombs real quick.
Sure. Yeah.
Those tombs again. You're spending on in an hour. Good lord.
So there's the broken in tomb.
Nice.
Or that's broken cool. Out of tomb.
Broken out of tomb. Yeah, we don't know. Broken in or broken out. We don't know.
Or tradition.
Okay. So, got that. Now we'll show here. We'll jump in real quick since Michael has jumped on, and I know Amy's here since we have an audience.
And there was a
Michael. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the fountain. That's gonna be the fountain, right? That's gonna be the fountain. So here's a little sneak peek-a-loo of where I got tonight with the paint. It took a lot longer to paint all the nooks and crannies that and all the detail that Michael put into the Dwarven build here.
especially the nooks. The nooks took a lot of
Oh,
time.
the nooks always take a long.
Yeah, the
This is
crannies
really
ain't so
cool.
bad.
The crannies are never so bad. But I got all the stonework painted on the side here, at least the base coat of it. Got this guy all painted up there, looking pretty good. All right, right over there, and then got the spire painted up here, so sit right.
That's gonna look so good.
It's gonna look dope, man. It's such a cool build. It's coming to life. Um, this little piece of XPS broke off, but I painted it, and it's gonna have to go right back.
Boop.
Side on part of the tube.
No one will ever
What happened?
know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I was just painting and it went boop, fell off, and I was like, oh, look at that, cool. Day one, I'm breaking this beautiful piece of terrain encounter.
It's an old tomb,
It's an old
Collin.
tomb. That's right. It's
old. It's ancient.
That's right. It's meant to be that way. No big deal.
Is that what they're supposed to be? Are those supposed to be tombs, or those like altars that are
it's
around?
tombs, little dwarven tombs. Dwarven tombs.
Nice.
Let's see. Oh yeah, that's 1000% true. You're talking about the book nooks, the diorama. You should totally check. Again, you got to go down the Nat One videos rabbit hole with the book nook. Chris made of a ring wraith traveling through the forest, and it's lit from behind. But he layered the background so you can see the tower of Sauron and like Mount Doom. It's awesome. It's really cool.
That does sound awesome.
Anyway, that's where we got to tonight. So a lot of stuff. We are definitely this is the first of many sessions with crafting and hanging out, crafting with Collin until I come up with a better segment name for it. But that's pretty much what it is. We're just crafting and hanging out. So hey, if you've enjoyed this content, be sure to like this video, share it, click the subscribe button, and be sure to turn on the bell notification for whenever I go live. Right now, it's going to be Mondays and Wednesdays. I'm still trying to figure out Wednesday. Maybe you and I figure out a time, whatever time works best for you, Chris. If you're able to come back on Wednesday, we'll see. But stay tuned. I'll definitely be going live again on Wednesday and working more on this Dwarven Cemetery because it's amazing. And then also this week on Sunday we got Brian King, who has an Etsy store and is a fellow tabletop terrain crafter, and excited to come on and share some cool rock scatter terrain with you guys. It's gonna be a fun build this week, so you'll want to tune in on Sunday for that. But from that, dude, Chris, thanks for jumping on tonight and crafting and hanging out, brother. It's again. Our virtual setting right now is as best as it's gonna get, and it's not as good as in person, but man, it's such a joy to hang out with you and get to chill and craft with you.
No, you as well, man. This was super fun crafting with Collin. I also like Crafter's Delight. I think that could be fun too, and then you could use a little theme song like I criff it to criff to criff craft, but you don't stop a craft until just.
You're gonna have to write. You're gonna have to write my. You're gonna have to write my music for that. And
okay,
I want.
Okay, as long as I get credit for it, I think we'll be.
We could go down the road that Amy went down. She's written a wonderful play called A Pirate's Life for She, and it's a play with music in it, and the music is glorious as well as the story. And you can never go wrong with a pirate theme. So if you got any good pirate theme suggestions for this segment out there, lay it on us, guys. We're all ears.
What's funny is like I started crafting these pirate tombs in front of a pirate fountain. So I think it's all gonna tie together. I don't know what this is gonna be yet, but
it's all good. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We will craft it and figure it out together. All right, y'all. Tune in on Wednesday. Stay tuned for when we're going live. Not quite sure yet. This is the first time we've tried all this, but until then, be sure to craft your passion daily. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys Seeing you guys again on the Crazy Crafter live stream. Cheers, y'all. Be well. Thanks for hanging out, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you all for joining today. Be sure to tune in again. Bye.
Be good human.
Yeah.
A craft, a criff it to the criff craft, but you don't stop a craft until
Criff craft. Yeah, keep it going.